what is the Dharma topic we are talking about today? We will talk about the 47th episode of Visualization Practice of Compassion and Bodhicitta, and today we will explain the methods of praying, making vows and the relationship between cause and effect. And we will also have the answers given by the Buddha himself. The topic of today's talk is to tell you that even if you are in adverse circumstances, not in good times, or the whole atmosphere makes everyone feel very worried, you all need to know that Buddhism is the one that can really help us. There are prayers and vows in Buddhism, and I often pray and make vows, but I still have adversities. So, how should we deal with this problem? We will explain it to you today. There are several questions to which you can get answers, so that you can have a deeper understanding of Buddhism. First, do some of the requirements for praying and making vows need to comply with the law of causes and effects? Because every one of you prays and makes vows, you think you are blessed by the power of Buddha. Does this violate the law of causes and effects? When we make these prayers and wish, do we actually need to do something in the content that conforms to the law of causes and effects? Second, will praying for blessings and making vows overdraw the blessings I have accumulated in the past? Third, what is the best content for prayers and vows? Fourth, if we plant some good causes, can we use them to exchange some of the things we hope for with the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas? Fifth, under what conditions do the good causes sown need to be established in order to evolve into great good results? Sixth, what is the best way to pray and make wishes? These will be explained to you one by one in this episode. Before we explain it, let's talk about the essence summary first. First of all, what is the reason why we have greed, hatred and ignorance? First, when being scolded, the emotions are easily aroused. The reason may be that we are too sensitive, and don't know how to balance our emotions. The second reason may be that our hearts are filled with uncontrollable anger, and we don't know how to deal with it. The Lord Buddha Shakyamuni once said, "Greed, hatred and ignorance are habits accumulated by all living beings over countless past lifetimes. Its source comes from the error of its own behavioral program, which has not changed and has become increasingly severe." Anger is actually a manifestation of our hatred. If we do not know how to find the source of this hatred, and do not correct the errors in our behavioral program, we will actually be reborn in the three lower realms: hell, hungry ghosts, and animals. This is what Buddha Shakyamuni said. So, what do our modern psychologists say? Modern psychologists believe that anger is the most primitive type of human emotional system. But in human society and culture, anger is often suppressed. Therefore, some emotional problems will arise. Therefore, if we do not use awareness to correct our behavior in our practice methods, we only rely on reciting mantras, just like parrots reciting mantras. When enter a meditative state, we have no clue, sitting randomly, reciting the Buddha's holy names casually, and thinking that it is okay. In fact, these methods of practice have no possibility of modifying our behavioral program. That is to say, we still cannot escape samsara, and we are still subject to the factors of reincarnation. Because your behavior program is wrong, how can you escape samsara? Continuing samsara is the inevitable result. So, you have to understand that practice is not just about reciting mantras, entering a meditative state, and reciting the Buddha's holy names. Indeed, the reason we generate uncontrollable anger is usually because some of our wishes or demands or needs are not being met. So, what are some of the needs that are actually very fundamental and basic for sentient beings? American psychologist Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory posits that humans have, first, physiological needs, second, safety needs, third, social needs, love and belonging, fourth, esteem needs, and fifth, self-actualization needs. Since we humans all need to learn the Buddha Dharma, does this Dharma have methods to satisfy these needs of ours, and can it teach us how to handle these needs? In fact, one of the needs that we sentient beings worry about most and most hope to obtain is the need to avoid suffering, threats, or illnesses, etc. Using the Buddha Dharma, if you practice Hinayana, the method used is sever the afflictions in order to achieve Bodhi. Mahayana uses transforming afflictions into Bodhi, and Vajrayana uses the afflictions are indeed Bodhi. What are these? Hinayana typically uses avoidance, and the practice method of perceptions, practice, actions and results involves visualization within its practice, called the Four Foundations of Mindfulness. However, their primary approach is to sever all afflictions, entirely avoiding them, and then proceeding with their practice is considered sufficient. And their visualization includes the first foundation of mindfulness, visualizing the body as impure; the second, visualizing feelings as suffering; the third, visualizing the mind as impermanent; and the fourth, visualizing dharmas as without self. Furthermore, within contemplating dharmas as without self, there are distinctions between northern and southern traditions. There are many practical methods involved that entail visualization. For a detailed introduction to these, you can refer to our Dudjom Buddhist Association YouTube, the Visualization Practice of Compassion and Bodhicitta series, episode 41. How can we determine whether a religion or sect has the ability to help sentient beings escape from suffering forever and obtain eternal happiness? We also hope you will also watch our The Classification of Buddha Dharma in Practice, the Essence of Emptiness. Regardless of which practice method you use, it is essential to have a theoretical foundation combined with practical methods to achieve success. Moreover, these practical methods must involve visualization techniques, and they must be interlinked for there to be any hope of success. If it is Mahayana, how would it approach this? It can be said that there are 84,000 Dharma gates for practicing the Buddha Dharma, but not all are equally capable of enabling you to achieve the goal of liberation from cyclic existence, or attaining Buddhahood. There is a significant disparity in the effectiveness of different methods. In our Buddhism, there are 10 schools. What are their differences? First, let's look at the Hinayana schools of Abhidharmakosa and Satyasiddhi. I won't elaborate in detail here, as Hinayana has been discussed in many previous episodes. Within Mahayana, the Chien Tai school has the 3 contemplations of one mind, which is a type of visualization, but it has been lost. The correct contemplation of no attainment visualization of the 3 treatises school has also been lost. The Vinaya school itself does not have practices involving visualization. The 16 contemplations of Amitabha visualization method of the Pure Land school of Buddhism has also been lost. The Dharmacharacter or Dharmalakar school has the 5-fold Vijnanavada visualization, but it too has been lost. The Chan Zen school's visualization on the inherent nature, original face, was originally also a form of visualization, but it has been lost as well. The Huayang Avatasika school has the visualization the Dharma realm, but it too has been lost. That is to say, you will find that within exoteric Buddhism, all practices that can involve visualization, the truly helpful methods, have basically all been lost, only the Vijnana still possesses them. And the Vijnana has many visualization practice methods, including those related to emptiness, intrinsic awareness, main directions, practices of varying levels, and 5 types of need handling methods. It possesses all these visualizations, making it easier to achieve balance. Because the practical methods of exoteric Buddhism have almost no component of visualization, consisting only of theory, some simple sutra recitation, Buddha name recitation, or meditation methods, therefore, not only does it require passing through 3 great asamkhya kalpa, but its effectiveness is very small. That is to say, you cannot traverse this path is very difficult to walk. The reason all visualization practice methods have been lost is actually because everyone recommend the simple, effortless method of Buddha's holy name recitation, mistakenly believing that Buddha's holy name recitation is the best method, and also mistakenly believing that Buddha's holy name recitation can definitely help them escape cyclic existence. Not to mention attaining Buddhahood, merely escaping cyclic existence, or even reaching a pure land is very difficult. They do not realize that this is due to excessive exaggeration. They still think this practice method is the best, consequently causing the most essential and effective practice methods and theories to be lost. Because everyone, what are they doing? Abandoning the difficult and choosing the easy. But they do not know that merely adopting these easy methods ultimately cannot help you, because they have been exaggerated. This is very unfortunate. That is to say, the fatal flaw of Mahayana exoteric Buddhism lies in excessively exaggerating the efficacy of Buddha's holy name recitation. Since the Mahayana Sutras actually appeared several hundred years after the Buddha's Mahaparinirvana, their content must be verified to discern their authenticity. Furthermore, It is not appropriate to exaggerate or overstate this content, because its authenticity is not fully known, otherwise, it will lead to the distortion and deviation of practice methods, and directly cause the entire Buddha Dharma to enter the Dharma ending age. Therefore, exaggeration is not permissible, because doing so causes a loss of rational analysis. You will create great calamity. How is calamity created? You will cause the entire Buddha Dharma to enter the Dharma ending age, where there is no practice and no realization. Thus, everyone can neither practice nor attain realization, meaning it is rather useless. Isn't that so? This is not good. For details, you can watch our YouTube, The Visualization Practice of Compassion and Bodhicitta, episode 42. How great is the difference in effectiveness and speed among the various Buddhist practice methods? Alright, let's take a look. When practicing Mahayana, how long does it actually take to make some progress? For detailed information, you can refer to our Dudjam Buddhist YouTube, The Classification of Buddha Dharma in Practice, The Essence of Emptiness. Just from the initial starting point, to establish the 10 most fundamental stages of faith, called the 10 beliefs, up until completing the 4 preliminary practices, should require the first Asamkhya Kalpa. 1 Asamkhya Kalpa equals the time required for the universe to undergo the cycle of formation, persistence, disintegration, annihilation, 10 to the power of 51 times. Then, progressing from the first Bhumi to the 7th Bhumi requires another Asamkhya Kalpa of time. After that, progressing from the 8th Bhumi to the 10th Bhumi requires yet another Asamkhya Kalpa of time. And one still has not attained Buddhahood. The Vijnana speaks of attaining Buddhahood in this lifetime. Why can you do it? Because a tiny discrepancy can lead to a huge error, that is, it depends on how you practice. Mahayana exoteric Buddhism practices within the cause, slowly planting causes, and is not directly linked to the fruit. However, the Vijnana is different. It practices within the fruit, all aspects of its practice are directly linked to the fruit. That is to say, it directly employs certain methods, or visualization methods, mind training methods, to cause oneself to turn the 8 consciousnesses into the 5 wisdoms, train in the arising of the 5 wisdoms, and the main direction of practice is to elevate intrinsic awareness. Why? Because if you wish to attain Buddhahood, or liberate yourself from cyclic existence, your intrinsic awareness must be restored to perfect enlightenment, meaning your intrinsic awareness is 100% perfect, without any deviation for even a single second. This is what is called attaining Buddhahood. That is to say, your intrinsic awareness must be absolutely correct. This means when you practice, you must practice in relation to intrinsic awareness right from the beginning. This intrinsic awareness is the fruit. You are practicing the fruit of perfect enlightenment. If your practice has no direct relationship with this fruit, of course it will require 3 great Asamkhya Kalpa of practice. That is to say, from the very start of practicing the 10 beliefs, one must practice by connecting with intrinsic awareness. What are the 10 beliefs? The Sutra of the Garland of a Bodhisattva's Primary Karmas, Volume 1, Chapter on the Names of Sages and Holies, says, first, the mind of deep-seated confidence, second, the mind of thoughtful awareness, third, the mind of diligence, fourth, the mind of wisdom, fifth, the mind of meditational concentration, sixth, the mind of no return, seventh, the mind of dedicating merits, eighth, the mind of protecting the dharmas, ninth, the mind of observing precepts, 10th is the mind of keeping vows. For detailed information, you can watch our The Visualization Practice of Compassion and Bodhicitta series, episodes 30, 31, and 32. So, that is to say, the 10 beliefs are our cause, and thereafter we practice towards intrinsic awareness, practicing while connected to intrinsic awareness. If the 10 beliefs are unrelated to intrinsic awareness, no matter how you practice, if you are mistaken right from the start, how can you give rise to intrinsic awareness? This is the relationship of causes and effects. Then, how does one give rise to intrinsic awareness? One must use the 5-step process I am now discussing. It is called the method of mind training and Dharma practice. It has 5 steps. The first step is the mind training procedures. This mind training procedures can help you practice by connecting with daily life and it itself also contains 5 steps. Second, you must follow the oral pith instruction of the Diamond Sutra, do not abide in notions, and also follow the second oral pith instruction of the Diamond Sutra, not to abide anywhere in order to arouse one's awareness. Then, you must apply them to cultivate the 5 wisdoms, and lead them into emptiness, neither existence nor voidness. If you can fulfill these 5 steps, you can then cultivate intrinsic awareness. The methods used by Hinayana and Mahayana are both about avoidance. They consider suffering to be normal, viewing our body as a stinking skin, and believe it can simply be discarded. However, Vijnana is precisely the opposite. Our body can be used, lent to us for practice, to succeed in cultivation through many different methods. We must cherish our body, and will not regard it as a stinking skin. The method we will use is called afflictions are indeed bodhi. If we can successfully remedy any kind of affliction, without viewing this affliction as a demon, not avoiding it, but instead facing it directly, and can even apply the antidote to it, then we can transform it into a kind of intrinsic awareness, that is, bodhi. Therefore, in our attitude, we must regard all afflictions as an opportunity to generate bodhi or intrinsic awareness. This attitude is very important. However, in the process of remedy, if it is not combined with mind training and Dharma practice, the 5-step method mentioned earlier, it becomes very easy to abide in notions. Once one abides in notions, it will evolve into greed, hatred, and ignorance, leading to a descent and rebirth in the evil realms. This is a major cause for our descent and rebirth. Therefore, we must be careful. However, because most esoteric Buddhism gurus today actually do not emphasize the practice of precepts and emptiness, it leads most esoteric Buddhism practitioners to abide in notions, due to the excessive, ritual aspects of vijnana. Therefore, if we speak of abiding in notions, the degree to which esoteric Buddhism practitioners abide in notions is more intense than that of ordinary exoteric Buddhist practitioners. This is the reason. This has also become a major factor in their descent and rebirth. What exactly are the methods in Vijnana for satisfying the need to avoid suffering, threats, or illness? In fact, any practitioner, upon entering the gate, should recognize the mind of renunciation. We must cultivate the mind of renunciation. The mind of renunciation has 2 levels of meaning. First, you must leave behind all suffering, and therefore must handle suffering with wisdom. How to handle it? You must handle it by not avoiding, and by not abiding in notions. Second, you must have the determination to completely transcend the suffering of the cycle of karmic existence. If you have such determination, you must combine it with methods that match it. That is to say, you must master some practices that enable you to transcend the cycle of karmic existence, or attain Buddhahood. Only this will do. What is called having wisdom? Having wisdom means you must first target certain points, focusing on dealing with them first. We must first deal with the virtuous and evil karmic portfolio. Well then, between virtuous karma and evil karma, which is the most important to deal with? It is the virtuous karma. You must first increase your own energy, before you can deal with evil karma. Therefore, the introductory teaching of our Dudjom Buddhist Association first helps you accumulate virtuous karma. This has already been explained in episode 43 of our Compassion series. It is about how to accumulate the merits of virtuous karma. It is divided into 3 levels, but remember, you must not avoid, and not abide in notions. What is the main method? It is that we must learn methods for leaving suffering behind and solving problems. We mentioned that we will teach the visualizations of the 8 auspicious symbols, and the 7 treasures of the wheel-turning monarch. For details, please refer to episode 43 of our Compassion series. What is the aid for attaining Buddhahood in this very body, this present lifetime, in Vijnana? Second, we must accumulate the merits of emergency relief virtuous karma, which is divided into 3 levels. You can refer to episode 44. These are visualization methods of making offerings above and giving alms below. Their oral pith instruction can remove karmic obscurations from countless past lifetimes. This is the visualization training of compassionate heart we teach, the prayer before meals. For details, please refer to episode 44 of our Compassion series, Emergency Methods for Entering the Realm of Ghosts, the Remaining in the Bardo State After Death. Alright, the third introductory teaching is that we must accumulate the merits of virtuous karma for transcending the cycle of karmic existence, divided into 3 levels. This belongs to the training of meditational power and bodhicitta, intrinsic awareness. This practice can help us temporarily sever the connection to the 6 realms through energy. Its oral pith instruction can assist us in entering the Dharma realm and attaining Buddhahood. What is this practice called? Its name is Tibetan Vajrayana 7-point posture meditation method of Vairocana. For detailed information, please refer to episode 45 of our Compassion series, Shortcut Methods for Entering the Heavenly Realms, the Buddha's Pure Lands, and the 9 Successive Stages of Meditation. Alright, episode 46 explains that the introductory teaching of our Dudjom Buddhist Association will teach you to accumulate the merits of virtuous karma for transcending the cycle of karmic existence and attaining Buddhahood, which is divided into 4 levels. For detailed information, please refer to episode 46 of our Compassion series, Prerequisites and Shortcuts for Attaining Buddhahood in this present lifetime, or this very body, and practicing the great perfection consequences of loving too deeply. This current episode is episode 47. Episode 47 will teach you how to accumulate the merits of nature of mind virtuous karma, which is divided into 4 levels. This is an extremely important introductory teaching of our Dudjom Buddhist Association. What is it? Which are the 4 levels? First, correction of the nature of mind. Second, execution of precepts. Third, establishment of aspirations and belief. Fourth, accumulation of corresponding merits. These 4 things are all crucial to our success or failure. Without these 4 things, even if you are excellent, having already practiced the great perfection, or attained some high teachings, you will still fail. Why would one say that without these 4 things, one will fail? Then, we must use a real case as an example. In the Sutra of the Wise and the Foolish, in the chapter on Sutasoma, there is a case describing a past life of the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni, where he made prayers and aspirations. In this case, you can clearly see why the 4 things I mentioned earlier are so important. In this case, a past life of the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni used some virtuous causes he himself had planted to exchange for something he hoped for. Let us look at this case now. This case took place in the Bamboo Grove Monastery, also known as Venuvana Monastery, in Raja, also known as Rajagriha. I will now explain based on the original text from the sutra. You can see the entire original text is in classical Chinese. At that time, the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni and his attendant Ananda, that is, the disciple specially serving the Buddha, put on their robes, took their alms bowls, and entered the city to beg for alms. At that time, there was an elderly couple, an old man and an old woman, meaning both husband and wife were very old, and they were blind. They were very poor and lonely, without a dwelling. So where did they live? They lived under the city gate, waiting for people entering or leaving the city when the flow of people was high, so they could beg for food. They had a son, already 7 years old, who was very filial. Although the whole family begged for food together, because the parents were blind, their movements were of course not very convenient, while he was young and could run around everywhere to beg for food. When he begged for many good vegetables and fruits, he would offer the best to his parents, and keep the spoiled, foul, or even inedible ones for himself. At that time, Venerable Ananda saw this child, wow! So young yet so filial, revering his parents. Therefore, he felt great affection, praised him highly, and cherished him deeply. After the Buddha finished begging for alms, he returned to the monastery. At that time, the world-honored one, that is, the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni, gave a Dharma teaching to all disciples and the assembly. Thereupon, Venerable Ananda knelt down. Because the Buddha was giving a Dharma teaching at that time, many people were present. Ananda knelt down. Clasping hands is a very respectful gesture. He made this gesture and said to the Buddha, "World-honored one. When I entered the city, I saw a child, wow. He is so filial and compassionate. His parents are both blind, living under the city gate. This child runs east and west, begging everywhere. Of the things obtained by begging, if they are good, he gives them all to his parents to eat, while he himself only eats the foul and spoiled things, and this is how it is every day. He is truly adorable. This person is truly admirable. The Buddha said to Venerable Ananda, whether we have left home, or are lay practitioners, our minds must be very compassionate and filial. We must make offerings to our parents. The merits of this, I can tell you, are extremely sublime and immeasurably great. Why? I also recollect past lifetimes, meaning he utilized supernormal powers to recall all experiences from previous lives. He said, in my past lives, I was also very compassionate, filial, and made offerings to my parents, even to the extent of using the flesh from my own body to save my parents, and help them through the most perilous times. These virtuous merits, from ascending to the position of King of Heaven, to being a sage king below, and even to attaining Buddhahood, becoming the most honored one of the three realms, that is, the most venerable one, all rely on this kind of blessing. It is the blessing from making offerings to parents. Ananda then said, So, Lord Buddha, in past lifetimes you were so compassionate and filial to your parents, not sparing your own life, using your own flesh to relieve your parents' danger. Then, what was the actual process, the true reality of the event at that time? Could you tell us about it? The Buddha said to Venerable Ananda, If you are willing to listen to my explanation sincerely, wholeheartedly, and attentively, and regard it as a very virtuous thought, often following and practicing it, then I will tell you. At that time, Venerable Ananda said, yes. I will. I will definitely listen attentively, and I will also carefully uphold and practice it. I will definitely listen very carefully. Thereupon, the Buddha said to Venerable Ananda, good. I will now tell you. He said, in a past lifetime, an immeasurable, countless number of Asamkhya kalpas ago, it was a very, very long time ago. You need to know, when the Buddha was telling this story to Venerable Ananda, it was during the lifetime in which he attained Buddhahood. And the story he told, the experience from that previous life, when did it occur? According to the Buddha, it was immeasurable, countless Asamkhya kalpa in the past. Hey! Didn't you just explain that table, telling us that one can attain Buddhahood within 3 great Asamkhya kalpas? But now, the previous life the Buddha speaks of, how long ago was it? He says it was an immeasurable, countless number of Asamkhya kalpas ago. Why did it take until this present lifetime to attain Buddhahood? That is to say, his process of attaining Buddhahood was longer than just 3 great Asamkhya kalpas. Yes. This sutra states it very clearly. That is to say, the table I mentioned earlier, the one stating that Buddhahood can be attained in 3 great Asamkhya kalpas, refers to if you practice using the methods of exoteric Buddhism. Even if you are extremely swift, it still takes 3 great Asamkhya kalpas. Otherwise, one would be like Shakyamuni Buddha. For how many lifetimes did he practice? Wow! It was an immeasurable, countless lifetimes. You can imagine. That is to say, if you still do not use the methods we teach you, the methods of visualization practice, the substantive practice methods to correct your own nature of mind, if all the methods you use do not align with what I am teaching now, and you insist that you can be very proficient and succeed very quickly in your practice, this is naive. Truly naive. Look carefully at all the sutras, and you will realize how naive you are. I specifically mention this sentence, because it is very important, so you must be careful. He said, in that lifetime, a very, very long time ago, many Asamkhya kalpas ago, in that world there was a great kingdom named Taksasila. At that time, there was a king named Deva. This king had 10 sons, and each son received a kingdom to govern independently. That is to say, this great kingdom overall had 10 smaller kingdoms under it, making 11 kingdoms in total, forming a system like a federation. The 10 kingdoms had to obey the commands of the central, the father's great kingdom. The youngest son, the little crown prince, named Supratisthita, translated during the Jin dynasty as Shanju, meaning King Shanju. This king, Shanju, everyone liked him very much, his popularity was high. Under his governance, this country, had ample food and clothing, and everyone was very happy. At that time, within his father's kingdom, that is, within the central kingdom, there was a minister named Rahu. This person was malicious, plotted to usurp the throne, rebelled and killed the great king, that is, killed their father king. After the great king's death, he acted as regent, becoming the regent king. This regent king sent troops to eliminate these 10 smaller kingdoms. The previous great king had 10 sons, each ruling one of the 10 kingdoms. He then sent troops to kill all the crown princes, intending to exterminate them. The youngest son, because his virtuous conduct was extremely good, caused spirits and ghosts to revere him. At that time, this small king did not know the situation had become so dangerous, troops were coming to kill him, and he was unaware of the impending attack on his city. At that moment, he was still walking in the garden, enjoying the scenery. A Yaksa, a protective deity, emerged from the ground, knelt before King Shanju, and said to him, "Ah! The minister Rahu by your father's side has already killed your father king, has already sent troops to kill all your elder brothers, and he has now sent people intending to kill you. You must flee quickly, as soon as possible. If you delay, it will be too late. This is a great calamity." When King Shanju heard this, he was extremely frightened, filled with terror. He thought, a great calamity is upon us. What to do? We must prepare to flee. Once preparations were made, it was already night. He thought about not informing others, not even his wife and children, intending to leave alone first, reasoning that if the troops attacked, they probably wouldn't kill his family. If I escape alone, perhaps I can find reinforcements. However, at that time he had a son. Because he didn't know if he would have a chance to return after leaving. Would reinforcements be able to help? It was also unknown whether he could even find reinforcements. He originally had 9 elder brothers, but hearing they had been attacked, they might already all be dead. So how could he find reinforcements? But he could not bear to leave his son behind. At that time, he had a son named Sujoto, translated during the Jin dynasty, when the sutra was translated as Shansheng. His son's name was thus Shansheng, and he was 7 years old at the time. He had a very handsome appearance and was very intelligent, extremely adorable. King Shanju liked this son very much. He wanted to see his son before parting. Because he was so reluctant to part, when he saw his son, he hugged him tightly, grief welled up within him, he began to cry and sighed repeatedly. His wife, seeing the king enter the room looking very frightened and even crying, asked him, "Why have you hurriedly come in, hugging our son and crying, as if you are very alarmed? What is the matter?" The king said to her, "It's not for you to know. That is, you don't need to know so much." At this, the wife grabbed him, held onto his robe, and said to him, "I want to tell you, I share life and death with you. Whatever danger arises, I will face it together with you. You must not reject me or abandon me. What is the matter? Please tell me." The king said, "Just now in the garden, I saw a Yaksa who came before me, knelt down, and told me that the minister Rahu has rebelled, has now killed my father king, and also killed my elder brothers. He has now sent troops intending to kill us. If we do not hide now, we will die." After hearing this, I felt extremely frightened. I also fear the soldiers will arrive soon, and there is not enough time to prepare, to counterattack, or defend the city. We now have only one option, to leave quickly. But, if I take you with me, our pace will be slow. And since I now need to find reinforcements, I did not want to bring you along. You stay behind. Perhaps when they enter, they only want to kill me. As long as he can control this country, and the people do not resist, and I am not here leading a resistance, since I have already left, you might be safe. But, this way, I can go seek reinforcements. So, I want to leave immediately. You stay here." Unexpectedly, the wife knelt down and said to the king, "No matter what, I must be with you. Do not abandon us, mother and son, leaving us alone. If we die together, if we live together." The king, upon hearing this, thought, "All right then. So be it." Thus, he agreed to her request. Carrying his son and taking his wife, he left immediately. All right, when they reached a fork in the road, this fork had two possible routes. Now, they intended to go to a certain country to seek reinforcements. To reach this country, one route would take 7 days, while the other route would take 14 days. The problem was, previously, when King Shanju visited this country, he had a large entourage of carriages and guides directing the way. He himself only knew there were 2 roads, one requiring a 7-day journey, and if he chose wrongly, it would take 14 days. Actually, which road was the 7-day route, and which was the 14-day route? The king did not know. This road was not traveled frequently, so of course he could not tell the difference, right? In the past, there were guides, so he didn't need to bother. In short, he only knew there were 2 roads. At that time, he was too flustered. He had only brought 7 days' worth of provisions, thinking that carrying less weight would allow them to travel faster. Therefore, he only brought 7 days' rations, and that too was only enough for one person. At that moment, he was very frightened, and just took the provisions and left immediately, forgetting that bringing his wife and son would require more provisions. In his panic and confusion, he chose the road that required 14 days to reach that country. After they had traveled for several days, the food ran out. Because 3 people were sharing this food. At this point, they were both hungry and lost, that is, disoriented, not knowing whether they should turn back or continue forward. They had already traveled for several days. Turning back would waste several more days before they could choose the correct 7-day route. This way, it would likely take more than 14 days. So, in his panic and confusion, he couldn't think of any solution. Now he realized he had chosen wrongly this time. What should he do? However, he loved his son dearly and did not want his son to die, so he thought of a method. He thought, it would be better to kill his wife, then use her flesh and blood to feed his son. This way, my son would not have to die. He further thought, if he took a knife to kill his wife and she saw it and ran away, he would not have enough strength to chase her. How could he kill his wife without her knowing it was he who killed her, without her seeing it was he who killed her, and without her running away? Therefore, he had his wife walk in front carrying their son, while he followed behind, pretending to check for pursuing soldiers. In truth, he intended to kill his wife from behind. Unexpectedly, as his wife carried their son, the son's face was facing backwards. As the son looked forward and then back, he saw his father holding a knife ready to stab his mother. All right, let's see what this son did. Wow! The son immediately crossed his hands, that is, made an X with his arms, and said to the king, his father, "Father King, I only wish for you to kill me, do not kill my mother." He was admonishing his father, hoping to save his mother's life. Now, you need to look at these words. The son then crossed his hands, that is, the son made a gesture, crossing his hands to form an X to stop his father from doing something. According to the precepts, how is it stipulated? Turns out, if we see some unwholesome event happening, we must use action to immediately stop that unwholesome karma from occurring. In the precepts, how is it? Each of you are practitioners, or wish to practice, but if you say, "I don't practice, I don't have to do it, and I don't care about these things." However, this also carries karmic retribution. The precepts merely remind you, if you do not act this way, or if you do certain things, you will have related cause and effect, you will bear a karma, meaning you will receive an unwholesome retribution. You are not a practitioner, you do not uphold them, you do not do this thing, you will still undergo the karmic fruit. What is it? The 5 precepts state, do not kill. You must not kill people. Right? I am now a son. I have not killed anyone. What does my father killing someone have to do with me? Now, according to the precepts, if you see someone in mortal danger and do not save them, this counts as a violation of the precepts. If you say, "I do not accept, I do not follow these precepts," but you will also bear the karmic retribution. Therefore, actually according to the precepts, the meaning of do not kill includes that besides yourself not killing people, if you see someone killing and it is possible to stop it, you should stop it. Unless you see it from very far away, and cannot stop it, then there is nothing to say. If you are at close distance, you definitely must stop it. If you do not stop it, you will also bear the karmic retribution. In the 10 wholesome deeds, that is to say, besides do not kill with the body, one must also have a mind free from greed, hatred, and delusion. You cannot, because of greed, think, killing mother has nothing to do with me, and if she's killed, there's meat to eat so we won't starve, that's quite good. Thinking like this is also a violation of the precepts. Thinking like this, you will also bear the karmic retribution. You also cannot have hatred, thinking, yes, my mother hit me with a cane a few times before, if this mother dies, so be it. This is also not allowed. You also cannot be deluded. What is called ignorance? I don't even know what's happening, we're already so hungry we have no strength, killing someone. If it's already done, you cannot be so ignorant, so muddle-headed as to allow your father to kill your mother. This is also not allowed. This also counts as a violation of the precepts. Alright, in the Bodhisattva precepts, we have 3 things to uphold. The first is the precepts of observing moral disciplines. What are the precepts of observing moral disciplines? Your body actions must be disciplined and orderly. What is called disciplined and orderly? Isn't it crossing the hands? As soon as you see it, hey! Why are you killing someone? Father, why are you trying to kill my mother? You must immediately stop it. To stop it, besides using your mouth, your body must also have discipline. What is discipline? Discipline means having rules of propriety. You must cross your hands, that is, you must immediately make a gesture, your body and speech must both act, not just your mind. Your mind thinks about how to stop this unwholesome karma. Your body must immediately perform some disciplined action, using the crossed hands, to indicate it is not allowed, it cannot be. Your speech must say, you absolutely must not kill. Only when all 3, body, speech, and mind are fully engaged does it accord with these precepts of observing moral disciplines. Do not forget, this son had not received any precepts, he did not know these precepts, but the actions he performed all conformed to these precepts. Next, what are the precepts of accumulating merits by performing good deeds? All good things you must do. Saving your mother is certainly a good thing, you must do it. What are the precepts of benefiting sentient beings? You must help sentient beings. Is it enough to just help sentient beings? Just help mother. Father, I won't help. Not allowed. Both father and mother must be helped. Father now wants to kill someone, how to help him? Admonish him. Correct his nature of mind. Pull father back from the cliff's edge. Do not let him fall into the abyss of descending to the 3 evil realms in the future. Understand? The precepts of benefiting sentient beings is like this. It means you must save both sides. It's not just saving yourself. If you do not do it, you yourself will share in bearing the karmic retribution and descend. After saving yourself, you must save mother. After saving mother, you must save father. That is to say, you must save everyone. Right? Yes. If you try not to save them, your actions will affect all sentient beings in the spirit realm. If someone sees and imitates your example, not saving father, mother, or others, you will share in his karmic retribution. Wow. This kind of overlapping increase is quite serious. Therefore, you must understand this matter. These are the precepts. Didn't I just mention that when you practice, there are 4 things? Without these 4 things you will certainly fail. One of them is the execution of the precepts. You might say, I have not taken the precepts, I have not received the Bodhisattva precepts. But do you know, without receiving the Bodhisattva precepts, you cannot attain Buddhahood. Now, a previous life of Shakyamuni Buddha was precisely this son. You will discover this son, this child Shanxing, he had not received the Bodhisattva precepts. However, the actions he performed were equivalent to the Bodhisattva precepts. This means he could attain Buddhahood. That is, if you have not received the Bodhisattva precepts, but your conduct is that of the Bodhisattva precepts, then it is equivalent to having received them. Understand? Now, There is another line, he spoke to the king, his father, meaning, he spoke to the king, his father, strenuously reasoning with him. This is the correction of the nature of mind. That is to say, of the four things I mentioned earlier, one is the execution of the precepts. This son is now practicing that. What is another of the four? What is it? Correction of the nature of mind. That is to say, what else does this son have to correct? Certainly, he himself must act and think this way, this corrects his own nature of mind. So, his nature of mind must be correct. Since he is able to do it, it is of course correct. But what about his mother and father? If his mother knew her husband wanted to kill her, would she give rise to hatred? She would think, ah, you are so cruel. I just told you, if we live together, if we die together. Now you actually want to kill me to feed yourself and our son. She would be angry, wouldn't she? That is, he had a need to correct his mother's nature of mind. Otherwise, she would undergo long periods of rebirth in the future. He also had to correct his father's nature of mind, because he wanted to kill someone to fill his stomach, or to satisfy his own desire. Wanting to save his own son also counts as satisfying your own desire. Thus, his nature of mind was crooked. Therefore, he needed to reason with his father. When he reasoned with his father, his mother would hear it, thus indirectly helping his mother. This is called the correction of the nature of mind. That is to say, I am now teaching my disciples and all devotees, if you truly practice the Buddha Dharma, you must have these four things. But if, when you are learning the Buddha Dharma, those who teach the Dharma do not teach you these four things, I can tell you, do not expect to succeed in your practice. If the person teaching you the Dharma does not teach you to uphold these four things, how to proceed? How do you understand these four things? Then, the Dharma he teaches will truly take a very long time to practice. Even 3 great Asamkhya Kalpa will not help you attain Buddhahood. For a long time, you will not be able to reach the stage. Now, Shakyamuni Buddha was already attained Buddhahood, of course he was perfectly attained. His predecessor was attained so in place, yet it still required cultivating for immeasurable, countless, Asamkhya Kalpa, before he could attain Buddhahood, just in that final lifetime. Thinking about it, his behavior was something few could achieve, and it still took so long. One can see that you must definitely employ some methods in your cultivation. Well, that is to say, this correction of the nature of mind requires both parties. For example, if you quarrel or fight with someone, it also requires both parties to correct the nature of mind, and it also requires multiple parties, meaning one must also consider other sentient beings. Alright, remember, failing to rescue someone from mortal danger will create a distortion in the nature of mind and is considered being an accomplice. Some people who have failed to rescue someone from mortal danger often have nightmares, always feeling they let that person down, that they could have saved them, just by making a 999 emergency call to help, but they didn't do it. He was sitting in the carriage, on the way he saw people fighting, saw someone holding a knife attacking people, but he didn't even make a 999 call to get help. Because of this, he might feel guilty for life. Even if he doesn't feel guilt, after those people die, in the future, when that scene can be replayed in the spiritual realm, they will see this person who passed by, but didn't even help, by calling 999. When they see this situation, they will resent you, detest you. You will then have one more enemy creditor, and in the future, you will have to receive retribution. Therefore, such acts of failing to rescue someone from mortal disaster actually entail bearing karmic force. Furthermore, your own karmic force will also create a kind of distortion in the nature of mind. If you feel no guilt, needless to say, if you don't even have guilt, you cannot hope to turn back and rectify your nature of mind. In that case, you are truly beyond hope. Not just in this life, but for eternity, countless Asamkhya Kalpa, do not hope to escape the cycle of rebirth. Why? If the nature of mind is distorted, how can one attain Buddhahood? It's very simple. You need 100%, without any deviation, perfect enlightenment, but now you are so deviated that you cannot turn back. How can you attain Buddhahood? Isn't that so? Well, then he also said this, he said, I only wish, great king, that you would rather kill me. That is, I have only one wish, Father, please kill me. This is power of aspiration. He is generating a power of aspiration. He said to his father, I wish you would. This is power of aspiration. I wish you would kill me. But why kill me? He said, this way, you won't have to kill my mother. I want to save my mother. This is a kind of belief. What is this belief? I must honor my parents, I must save my mother, which is equivalent to saving my father, because now I am asking my father to kill me. That is, at least my mind holds no resentment. Then, is what my father does considered a killing karma? It is I who told him to kill me. If the father killed the mother, that would be murder, and his father's killing karma would be heavy. But now, my father did not kill my mother, I only asked my father to kill me. Actually, would this still entail bearing karmic force? I will explain this later. I merely asked my father to kill me, that killing karma would not be so heavy. This is equivalent to indirectly saving the father. Therefore, he made an aspiration, and his belief was very firmly established. This belief was that I must save my parents. What is my power of aspiration? I would rather sacrifice myself. This is his establishment of power of aspiration and belief. If we wish to cultivate and escape the cycle of rebirth, we must also have this kind of power of aspiration, and also have such a belief. Well, then, a fourth thing will emerge. Didn't I say a fourth thing would emerge? This is called the accumulation of corresponding virtuous merits. We have four things that are the most fundamental. If we lack them, no matter what high dharma you cultivate, you will fail. What are these four things? Correction of the nature of mind, execution of precepts, establishment of power of aspiration, and belief. These three combined will give rise to this accumulation of corresponding virtuous merits. What is it? It's precisely these four things. That is, if you can accumulate these merits, your nature of mind will certainly be able to become established and become increasingly correct. However, if you do not adopt some special cultivation methods to do this, you will have no way to attain Buddhahood in this present lifetime. You will truly have to rely slowly, bit by bit in each lifetime, bit by bit in each lifetime. This would really require immeasurably many asamkhya kalpa to correct it. This means it requires a very long time to correct, which is to say, for a very long time, you cannot escape the cycle of rebirth. Thus, no matter how well you uphold your precepts, no matter how firmly established, if you lack some correct methods to aid your cultivation, you will still need immeasurable asamkhya kalpa to achieve what you desire in your heart. No matter how well your power of aspiration and belief is established, how much, how good, how solid it is, if you don't have some good methods for cultivation, you will not succeed. Therefore, the establishment of these merits is very important. But if you do not know how to suit the remedy to the case, by learning some cultivation methods, even if you possess this set of things, you will cultivate very slowly, and will not be able to succeed for a long time. However, if you have some very fast methods that allow you to attain Buddhahood in this present lifetime, but you lack these four things, you similarly will not be able to cultivate them. That is to say, you need both kinds of things. You must possess the cultivation method for attaining Buddhahood in this present lifetime, and you must also possess these four elements. Only then can you attain Buddhahood in this present lifetime. Well then, can we use these virtuous causes to exchange for things we hope for? Let's continue reading. At that time, how did this son speak to his father? You must pay attention to what he said. It is very important. He said, do not kill me outright. Hey! Do not kill me completely. That is, do not stab me to death with one blow. Do not stab me straight through the heart to lessen my suffering. Aiming for the most vital point, and kill me with one stab. In short, do not kill with one clean, certain, fatal strike. Do not kill me outright. Do not do this, Father. You should cut off parts of me gradually and eat them. You and mother still have many days of journey ahead. You need food each day to solve the problem of hunger, right? Therefore, you should, each day you travel, cut some flesh from my body, enough for one day's consumption, enough for you and mother for one day. All right, the next day cut some more flesh to eat. Why do it this way? He said, doing it this way can sustain you for a longer time. If you kill me with one blow, the weather is hot now, my body will quickly breed bacteria. If my body has bacteria, you cannot eat it. If the corpse rots, you cannot eat it. This would waste my intention of wanting to save you. Right? He said, you must not kill me with one blow. I am not afraid of pain. If you slowly cut my flesh to eat, you can save both of you. I would prefer you to do this. This is called wisdom. In such a critical situation, who could think of this? But this son could think of it. Therefore, later he could attain Buddhahood. He said, you must slowly cut my flesh. Doesn't that mean enduring pain for a long time? Now, according to the stipulations of the precepts, you must use a nature of mind free from greed, hatred, and ignorance to resolve negative karma. What is the negative karma that needs resolve here? The negative karma that needs resolving is not wanting the father to kill the mother, consequently not wanting the father and mother to starve to death, and also being able to find rescue. This negative karma, it turns out, must be resolved using a method free from greed, hatred, and ignorance. What does free from greed, hatred, and ignorance mean? Ignorance would be saying, just kill me with one blow, make sure you stab accurately, stab the heart so I feel no pain. This is ignorance. If it's greed, wow. I'm really scared, very afraid of pain, just kill me quickly with one blow. This is greed. Hatred would be, I really hate both of you. Since I have to die sooner or later, fine. Kill me then. Forget it. That is, without these things. That is to say, when you want to save someone, you cannot have a nature of mind containing greed, hatred, and ignorance. Only by resolving this negative karma in this way is it valid. The precepts stipulate this. You might say, these precepts are so strict, how can I possibly uphold them? I have already said, precepts are nothing special, they merely remind you of what can help you. That is, if you can do this, you not only avoid bearing karma, but can also plant great merits. That is the meaning. The perfect 100 points of virtuous merits are attained by relying on these precepts, which help you and explain to you, enabling you to accomplish them. That is to say, this son had not learned the precepts and was unaware of them, but his actions, wow. They scored 100 points. Within the 5 precepts, there is refraining from killing with the body. Refraining from killing means you cannot ask others to kill for you. Look. This is called the execution of precepts. Therefore, now, he did not ask his father to kill him. He also had established power of aspirations and pure faith, so he would not let his parents starve to death in the end, because he feared pain. In order to prevent his parents from starving to death, he possessed a power of aspirations. He would rather endure the pain than let them starve to death. He had established a pure faith, which was to save his parents no matter what, to be filial to his parents. This is how he was. This is wisdom and also the observance of precepts. Now, what is called the correction of the nature of mind? What was his nature of mind like? It must be without any fear. It does not fear, because there is evil karma, or adversity ahead. Look. Now that the pandemic is so severe, should we be fearful? I must be fearless, not startled or afraid. I must also be without dread, not letting it affect my mind. Without greed or attachment, not clinging to one's own body and thus refusing to save one's parents. Without hatred, he had no hatred whatsoever. Without ignorance, he had no ignorance at all. He very wisely thought of methods to save his parents. If he was going to save them, he would save them thoroughly. He did not fear being stabbed to death by his father, nor was he afraid early on. Such a situation did not exist. What then happens with the corresponding virtuous merits? It can cause his nature of mind to be established, his precepts to be established, his power of aspirations to be established, and his virtuous merits to be established. Now, let us see how his parents were. After hearing this, his parents felt there was no alternative. That is, they had to cut their son's flesh to eat. Thus, they cried while cutting the flesh. After cutting, they felt great regret, but they continued to cut. In short, they cried while cutting. Every day they cut like this. Now, cutting like this every day, the flesh would eventually run out. Before even reaching the neighboring country, there would be no flesh left. Why? Their son was only 7 years old. How much flesh was there to cut? 2 adults, and they had to leave a little for the son to eat so he wouldn't starve immediately. Without food, he would die. With such a small amount of flesh, how could it be enough for 3 people? Is that not so? Cutting it like this day after day, the flesh was completely gone, leaving only bones, but they had not yet reached the country they wanted to go to. They were already so hungry, their legs were weak. Terrible. What to do? Look at this mural. This mural is a very famous one from the Dunhuang caves. It depicts the story described in this sutra as a mural. What is the title of this mural? It is, Cutting the Flesh. The scene at that time was very miserable. By painting the situation, it is to remind you of how Shakyamuni Buddha was that day, what method he used in his practice to attain Buddhahood. What cause did he plant? As I have said, exoteric Buddhists use planting causes to attain Buddhahood, without linking to the fruit. These are the causes. This cause is the cause of filial piety towards parents, the cause of willingness to sacrifice oneself. He planted these causes. His father held a knife and continuously scraped the flesh from the bone joints. The flesh had already been scraped clean. Still, he scraped at each joint, hoping to scrape off a little flesh to eat. Later, when there was not a bit of flesh left to scrape, what did he think then? He thought of abandoning the son, not wanting to carry him forward anymore, because since the son's flesh was all gone, he would die after all. They had to leave to hurry on their journey, they could not delay. They hoped to reach that country and try to find someone to come back to this place to check on the son and save him. All right. The son had not died at that time. Why did he not die? It turns out he relied on strong willpower. What is strong willpower? It is the single-minded determination to save his parents' lives. He felt that he could not die. If he died, his parents would die too. Cannot. No matter what, he had to endure, no matter what, he could not die. It was by relying on this strong will that even though the flesh in his body was scraped away, leaving no flesh, he still did not die. How marvelous! So, when a person's will, when the power of aspirations is very strong, the energy produced is so powerful. Now, this son thought in his heart, his father wants to abandon him and leave, this cannot be. He said, although I am about to die, I still hope my parents can eat what little remains of me. I feel I still have something left that can be offered for my parents to eat. Why not let them eat this little bit too? This is what the son thought. He said, I still have a little flesh that I can give as alms. He even thought of this. This is called the establishment of power of aspirations and pure faith. He aspired that he would have the ability to save all sentient beings, not limited to just his own relatives. What did he think? Let us see what he thought. This is called the execution of precepts. It is the precept of benefiting sentient beings. The Bodhisattva precepts say that you should not only benefit your parents, but you must benefit all sentient beings. Therefore, he made some requests to his parents. Why did he make these requests? This is because within the 10 virtuous deeds, it is clearly stated the mind without greed, hatred, and ignorance. I will not, due to attachment to myself, or even attachment to my own relatives, be unable to hate other sentient beings, thinking, you are not related to me. You have not shown me kindness, why should I give my flesh for you to eat? He would not have such a mind of hatred or dislike. He also would not be ignorant, he would not limit the capacity of his mind. This is precisely the mind without greed, hatred, and ignorance within the 10 virtuous deeds. That is to say, the observance of precepts you practice must reach this level to be called perfect. He thought, even if I only have a little bone left, a little flesh clinging to the bone that cannot be scraped off, I feel I still have something to give as alms, besides saving my parents. there should still be something that can be given to other sentient beings. This is what he felt. This kind of thinking is very much in line with the mind without greed, hatred, and ignorance within the 10 virtuous deeds. It is the execution of precepts carried out very thoroughly, including the Bodhisattva precepts as well. In terms of the correction of the nature of mind, what correction of the nature of mind is there in his behavior and such thoughts? It is that kind of compassion of his that can be elevated to the level of intrinsic awareness. I have said before, why is this series named the Visualization Practice of Compassion and Bodhicitta? Previously, many people thought that compassion is bodhicitta, and bodhicitta is compassion. This is a mistake. It turns out that in so-called compassion, the component of intrinsic awareness within it is very low. One only knows that one should have compassion for people, but it may not necessarily involve wisdom, nor may it necessarily be able to give rise to intrinsic awareness. If you want to elevate compassion to this level of intrinsic awareness, that is, to the level of bodhicitta, to this level of intrinsic awareness, you must have one element to succeed in elevating it. What is this element called? It is non-discriminating wisdom. If within your compassion there is an element called non-discriminating wisdom, then your compassion is immediately elevated to become intrinsic awareness. It is bodhicitta. Why? Because you have compassion for all sentient beings. The establishment of this kind of nature of mind can ultimately enable you to ascend to a state called oneness. What is oneness? That is, there is only one point that can integrate everything, non-discriminating. This is the intrinsic awareness of perfect enlightenment in the state of oneness. That is to say, you then have the opportunity to attain Buddhahood. That is to say, if within your compassion there is no such thing as non-discriminating wisdom, if your compassion is not directed towards all sentient beings, then you cannot elevate it. You must remember this. It cannot be elevated. You cannot attain Buddhahood. Because you do not have the element of oneness, how can you attain Buddhahood? Is that not so? Therefore, what happens with the corresponding virtuous merits? If you can achieve this kind of compassion, which is compassion with non-discriminating wisdom, then you can be elevated to intrinsic awareness, and you can attain Buddhahood. Only the virtuous merits accumulated in this way can lead to attaining Buddhahood. Now, at that time, because the son requested, saying, "Actually, I still have some things I can give as alms to sentient beings." He made this request to his parents in this way. His parents felt that their son was about to die, and there was no reason not to fulfill his final wish. All right. All right. What do you think you still have that can be given as alms? Just say it. I will divide it into 3 portions, 2 portions for your parents to eat, and the remaining 1 portion will be given as alms on your behalf. Their son then said, "I still have some muscles, if you scrape a bit more, there will be a little more flesh. Scrape my face, there is flesh there too. My head, my neck, all have flesh. My eyes, my tongue are all flesh, they can be scraped out to eat. You can also give them to sentient beings to eat." Then, the parents said, "All right. All right. We will fulfill your wish." Thus, even his eyes, his tongue, his face, all the flesh was scraped out, divided into 3 portions. 2 portions were given to the parents to eat, and 1 portion was used for almsgiving. After that, what happened? They had to leave. There was nothing left to eat, even the eyes had been eaten, there was nothing more to eat. So, look at that mural. What is this mural called? Farewell, everyone bids farewell. Bids farewell. They leave. His parents then departed. As soon as his parents left, the son made a vow, he established a vow. He said, "It is possible. I have truly done what I wanted to do. I have truly planted this great virtuous merit. I can use this virtuous merit of mine to establish a vow, to exchange for something." What do you suppose he hoped to exchange for? He said it like this: "I offer the flesh of my present body to offer to my parents. That is, all the flesh of my body now, I have offered to my parents." Upholding this virtuous merit, one use it to seek the Buddha way. That is, I wish to use this virtuous merit to seek attainment of Buddhahood. What method can enable me to attain Buddhahood? The Buddha way is that method, the way is that method. I wish to pray for some methods to attain Buddhahood. I want to attain Buddhahood. Universally aiding all sentient beings in the 10 directions. Why do I want to attain Buddhahood? You have a reason. If I attain Buddhahood, I can be happy. Attain eternal happiness, that would be excellent. Then I won't have to suffer anymore. It's not like that. He said, why do I want to attain Buddhahood? It is because I want to universally aid all sentient beings in the 10 directions. I want to save all sentient beings. What are you saving? To what extent are you saving? He said, I want to cause all sentient beings to leave all sufferings and attain the happiness of nirvana. I want to cause all sentient beings to leave all sufferings until they can enter that state of eternal happiness of the Dharma realm. That is, to enter the Dharma realm. He made this vow, that is, to cause all sentient beings to leave all sufferings and attain nirvana, which is to attain eternal happiness, is it not? He made this kind of vow, such a vow, which is able to help sentient beings enter the Dharma realm, able to enjoy eternal happiness. The energy of this kind of power of aspirations, and the happiness it connects sentient beings to, I can tell you, is very great. Of course, the power of aspirations depends on the extent to which you make it. It turns out, if made to an extent like his, it will produce a very great energy. It actually caused the 3,000 great worlds to greatly shake 6 times. As you know, the shaking within our Earth is caused by certain energies making the tectonic plates collide, thus causing earthquakes. This is also produced and caused by energy. But now, what shook was the 3,000 great worlds, not just this Earth. It turns out it even shook all those higher heavenly realms, like the desire realm heavens, and the form realm heavens, all of them. Those places have no Earth's tectonic plates, no material structure of that kind to cause shaking. The structure of the heavenly realms, matter is very sparse there. What then can cause them to shake? It is energy. That energy was extremely strong, its intensity shook from the Earth up to the heavens above. You can imagine how powerful the energy triggered by this vow he made. It was the 3,000 great worlds, and moreover, it was 6 times, shaking almost to the point of turning upside down. 6 contrary shakings means 6 times, repeated shakings. How tremendous it was. This kind of establishing a vow, let us look at this kind of establishing a vow. He took this establishing a vow, with this establishing a vow, with this virtuous cause, established a vow, to exchange for something he desired. That is to say, he wanted to use some virtuous merits to exchange for retribution. This virtuous merit is the cause, the retribution is the effect. This cause and fruit actually correspond with each other. It inherently has a natural law that creates a kind of correspondence. What is called mutual correspondence? What is called the mutual correspondence of cause and fruit? Originally, in nature, they correspond by themselves. Why do they correspond by themselves? What can cause them to correspond? We will talk about this later. If you want to exchange for the retribution you hope for, you must add a third kind of force to succeed. Why? Because it has a natural law, it corresponds by itself. It is not up to you to decide how it should be. That is to say, if you do not want to rely on natural forces for them to pair up by themselves, you must add a force to achieve the pairing. Why add a force? And what kind of force must be added to successfully pair them? This is called the power of aspirations. Why? The power of aspirations is triggered by the mind consciousness. Then what is called karmic force? What is called cause and effect? How are that cause and effect and karmic force produced? It turns out, all karmic force is formed by the mind consciousness of sentient beings, interweaving to create an interactive state. This karmic force is actually a kind of, you could say, energy, and these energies collide with each other, entangle with each other, triggering this karmic force effect. That is to say, how is this karmic force produced? It is created by your mind consciousness. Therefore, what is meant by everything comes from the mind? This is the meaning. Therefore, This 3000 great thousand worlds is also constituted by everything comes from the mind. Why can everything comes from the mind accomplish this? It is because everyone's mind consciousness produces a kind of energy that interweaves, attracts, and entangles to form this state of karmic force. How are cause and effect formed? Cause and effect are constituted by karmic force. These karmic forces will naturally pair up according to the state of your mind consciousness. This pairing is said to be triggered by nature, but what actually is this nature? His refers to your mind consciousness. Mind consciousness is the so-called natural law. Your mind consciousness forms this natural law. Everyone pulls and tugs at each other, thus pulling out a paired cause and effect. There is a kind called collective karma, which is equivalent to us establishing a law. If you kill someone, you must go to prison for so many years. If it is manslaughter, it will be lighter, that is, there are many different grades. The formulation of these laws is produced and established by everyone's mind consciousness, by a consensus among everyone. It is the same in nature. How is the law of causes and effects actually created? It is created by everything comes from the mind. It is created by all of your mind consciousness. Then, you might say, didn't you say that even after Shakyamuni Buddha attained Buddhahood, he could not overcome cause and effect? Of course, that is so. Because those karmic forces, those cause and effect, are all constituted by the energy of the mind consciousness of all sentient beings, mutually formed. If this Buddha attained Buddhahood, can enter the Dharma realm at any time, and not affected by these karmic forces. But when he re-enters the three realms, he will be subject to this traction, subject to the energy of all these mind consciousness. As a Buddha, possessing such great power, can he kill all sentient beings? Wow! If I kill them all, extinguish their mind consciousness, would this be possible? It is not possible. You only kill their physical bodies, their mind consciousness still exists. Then, can the Buddha destroy all of their mind consciousness, so that this cause and effect no longer exists? That is also not possible. Haven't we said it before? The Buddha has intrinsic awareness. How could he kill sentient beings? How could he destroy the mind consciousness of sentient beings? He can only teach you, guide your mind consciousness back to the right path. If you have the ability to guide everyone's mind consciousness back to the right path, and originally everyone's mind consciousness is inclined towards virtue, and the cause and effect pairing constituted by everyone's mind consciousness is one where everyone helps each other, everyone is good, then your world would be equivalent to becoming as happy as the Dharma realm, as happy as those pure lands. But can the Buddha accomplish this? Can the Buddhist holy Dharma accomplish this? Look. This is difficult. Because those mind consciousnesses are all different. Shakyamuni Buddha taught the Buddhist holy Dharma for 49 years, constantly explaining many methods. There were methods of different types. There were also teachings for adjusting their nature of mind in different ways, but what was the result? The result was, as soon as he passed away, his disciples started fighting. Just think, sentient beings are like this. How stubborn and difficult to save they are. Therefore, it is said that supernormal powers cannot overcome karmic force. This is the reason. So, that energy structure is so powerful. The energy structure constituted by all sentient beings is so powerful. Thus, even supernormal powers cannot defeat it. Supernormal powers are merely the power of one person's, or a few people's, mind consciousness. If one has to contend with the power of the endless sentient beings' mind consciousness, this is like an egg striking a rock. This explains what is truly called the natural law of causes and effects, and how its operation works. All right. You have now performed some virtuous karma, and you wish to exchange this virtuous karma for some fruition. You further wish to exchange it for the fruition of attaining Buddhahood, that is, Buddhahood. Can it be exchanged? Thus, you must add one more force into it, add a power of aspirations into it. That is to say, a third kind of force must be added, preventing it from pairing by itself. If I add one more force, and I want to pair this way, then, wouldn't my success rate be higher? If I add one more force, and I want to pair this way, not like other sentient beings who pair messily by themselves. Alright, you have added the power of aspirations. Does this then guarantee success? This is the crucial point of our practice and study of Buddhism. Is it that by simply making a vow, you can succeed? This involves what we mentioned at the beginning. I have 6 questions to answer. The first one is, do the requests made through praying for blessings and making vows ultimately need to conform to the law of causes and effects? They need to conform. You need to conform. This means that, regardless of what blessings you pray for, the type of blessings you pray for, or the vows you make, you must conform to causes and effects. How to conform to causes and effects? If you wish to plant some good retributions, meaning you want to have some good retributions, you will perform prayers for blessings, isn't that right? Why can your prayers for blessings lead to the appearance of the fruition you wish for? Assuming the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas come to help you, they would say, you wish to pray for blessings. What blessings do you wish to pray for? Let me help you. In this situation, they must certainly look within your virtuous and evil karmic portfolio, to see if you have this virtuous karma, and if this virtuous karma is powerful enough to meet your requirement, to satisfy your type of request. Only then can they help your prayer for blessings achieve the wish. Isn't that so? Alright, you make a vow, but the vow you made has not yet been acted upon. You have only said you will do it. You make a vow saying, I vow such and such. I vow to help 1,000 sentient beings, to give them warmth and fullness, so they can have warmth and fullness for 10 days. That is, 1,000 sentient beings have warmth and fullness for 10 days. So you have made this vow. You further say, by this power of aspirations, I request all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to help me. I now wish for a promotion. If I get promoted, I might receive an increase of $10,000 in salary. This would be excellent. I have now made this vow, can you help me? How can the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas help you? Similarly, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will look within your virtuous and evil karmic portfolio, to see if you have this virtuous merit capable of helping such a request of yours. You don't. You don't. But you say, I made a vow, the power of aspirations also counts as blessing. The Buddha then says, you made a vow. You said you would help 1,000 people have warmth and fullness for 10 days, correct? Alas! For how many days have you acted? Did you give 100 sentient beings warmth and fullness for 1 day, or 1,000 sentient beings warmth and fullness for 1 day? Only 1 day? Or 10 days? Or only 9 days? They will then calculate, your accumulated blessings are still insufficient for your wish. But now, according to the vow you made, what fraction has actually been done? Adding it all up, are your blessings sufficient for your wish? They still need to calculate. It turns out they still need to calculate carefully. This reveals one thing, what you pray for blessings for, what you make vows for, all must conform to the law of causes and effects. Regardless of what you do, the virtuous karma you perform, the blessings you pray for, the vows you make, all must conform to causes and effects. When Buddhas and Bodhisattvas come to help you, can they help you succeed? This also requires calculating causes and effects. What you are now asking is, by making this vow now, can it ultimately guarantee my success? I will now answer you. It depends on causes and effects. All must conform to causes and effects. Alright, there is one more thing you need to pay attention to. Is it as simple as just conforming to causes and effects? It turns out there are additional conditions. That is, you need to compare the points of similarity and their proportional composition within it before it can be decided. That is to say, you pray for blessings. What blessings are you praying for? You make a vow. What vow are you making? Between the cause and the effect, within the blessings you pray for and the vows you make, are there any points of similarity? What is the proportional composition? It turns out all of this must be known. Let us now take a look. What is called points of similarity? What is its proportional composition? What are points of similarity? That is to say, you now hope to attain Buddhahood. What is the reason you hope to attain Buddhahood? That is, the merits you are now planting certainly have a cause. This cause is that you want to obtain a certain retribution. Are this cause and this effect interconnected? You wish to make an exchange. You now want to exchange this virtuous cause for a retribution. Is there relevance between this cause and this effect? Are there points of similarity? You need to look. Well, now this son says, the reason I hope to attain Buddhahood is because I want to save all sentient beings. I want to help them leave all sufferings and enter a Dharma realm of eternal happiness. Is that not so? And your desired retribution is to attain Buddhahood. All right, let us see what points of similarity there are. What is the most fundamental condition for attaining Buddhahood? It is to have a state of mind called oneness before you can attain Buddhahood. If you still have things of a dualistic or multiplistic nature, you cannot attain Buddhahood. That is, you must view sentient beings and yourself as one entity. What is one entity? That is, sentient beings and you are without difference, everyone is one entity. That is, you must view all sentient beings and yourself as one entity. Only then can you enter the state of oneness, which means unifying different points into oneness. In this way, you can attain Buddhahood. First, within your effect, the effect within the retribution you seek, there is a common point. You must enter the state of oneness, you must view all sentient beings and yourself as without distinction. Only then can you attain Buddhahood, correct? Now, does your cause, the merits you are planting, contain this element within it? He now makes a vow, saying, I want to attain Buddhahood. The reason I want to attain Buddhahood is because I want to help all sentient beings. Why do I want to help all sentient beings? Because they are the same as me. I truly want to help them. Thus, there is a common point between them. The cause he is planting, this virtuous cause of merit, and the effect he wishes to achieve inherently share a common point. They can be linked together, they are interconnected, see. In this way, it can be exchanged. In this way, it can be successfully exchanged. Why? When you wish to save all sentient beings and enter eternal happiness, this is called the non-discriminating wisdom. You already feel no distinction from sentient beings, as dear as yourself, loving yourself as you love them. The effect you wish for, attaining Buddhahood, itself requires you to achieve non-discrimination, the state of oneness, to attain this effect. If you wish to attain Buddhahood, then this non-discrimination of yours must reach 100%, the true and genuine state of oneness, without any deviation, 100% perfect enlightenment, without any deviation. What awareness is the nature of mind of this perfect enlightenment? It is the awareness of oneness, the awareness of non-discrimination. So, to attain Buddhahood, we need this kind of awareness. Yes. If you wish to attain Buddhahood, but you lack a kind of awareness called the awareness of non-discrimination, even if you have all other kinds of awareness, you just lack this awareness of non-discrimination, then you cannot view sentient beings as the same as yourself, you cannot merge with them. No matter what, you feel that sentient being is extremely bad, heavily burdened with greed, hatred, and ignorance. How then can you merge into one entity with them, without distinction? What if his greed, hatred, and ignorance come over to me? That cannot be. Wow! His karmic forces transfer to me, he has to beg for food, and it makes me have to beg for food too. That cannot be. If you have such thoughts, do not expect to attain Buddhahood. Why? You cannot achieve 100% perfect enlightenment. What is perfect enlightenment? It is an awareness, without the slightest deviation. What awareness? The awareness of non-discrimination. What is the awareness of non-discrimination? It is the awareness of oneness, capable of merging into one entity, that kind of awareness of oneness. If you lack it, how can you attain Buddhahood? If I only have 99.9, lacking 0.1, I still cannot attain Buddhahood. Do you understand? Alright, what percentage is the cause you are now planting? Well, the effect you desire requires 100% to attain Buddhahood, but is your current cause sufficient at 100%? Can it truly be successfully exchanged? When you only have 80%, you may not be able to exchange for this effect of attaining Buddhahood. You can only exchange for 80%, an effect close to attaining Buddhahood. 80%, close to attaining Buddhahood, but not yet attained. Not yet attained Buddhahood. Still lacking 20%. Lacking 20%, you might need to traverse who knows how many Asamkhya Kalpa before you can reach it. This is terrible. This means not yet having reached the stage. Isn't that so? Thus, that is to say, the vow you made, yes. I vow to attain Buddhahood. Can this truly be done? It is possible, but who knows how long one must wait. That is to say, how were all causes and effects originally? They correspond with each other. Well, at that time, the vow he made caused the 3,000 great thousand worlds to shake, and it shook 6 times. The energy triggered by his power of aspirations and mental strength was extremely immense. Doesn't this represent 100 points? You still want to put a question mark, questioning about it, not knowing if he is 100%. Look. I tell you, why he is not 100 points. You still need to look at one thing, look at what? Within the virtuous merits you have planted, is there any component of greed, hatred, and ignorance? What is called the component of greed, hatred, and ignorance? Because, when you plant these virtuous merits, do you have any component of greed, hatred, and ignorance? If the retribution you want now is to attain Buddhahood, do you know? Buddhas are without greed, hatred, and ignorance. The greed, hatred, and ignorance of Buddhas are 0%. It is 0, it is non-existent. And within the cause you have planted now, is it 0? Look. At the point of commonality, I have already placed a question mark. Is he 100 points? Is he absolute, common, identical? His non-discriminating wisdom has the word wisdom. If you want to attain Buddhahood, as already stated in the Heart Sutra, it is neither wisdom nor attainment, not even speaking of wisdom anymore, not even having wisdom, just this non-discrimination, just this oneness. There is no wisdom that particularly stands out. But, when you are planting your cause now, you are still talking about a kind of wisdom. Non-discriminating wisdom still has a wisdom existing. This means not yet 100 points. Isn't it? You shouldn't only look at the 3,000 great thousand worlds shaking, the energy being so strong. How could it not be 100 points? It's not calculated this way. We are calculating the score of that nature of mind. It is not calculating the score of energy intensity. Is the greed, hatred, and ignorance component of the virtuous merits you are planting now 0? We also need to look. Let's take a look. Because it is mutually corresponding, so you must have 0 to be acceptable. At that time, he said this. I want to universally aid all sentient beings of the 10 directions. My attaining Buddhahood is for this purpose. Universally aid means saving and helping all sentient beings. However, he said, he would divide the flesh of his own remaining eye, face, and tongue into 3 portions. Who decided this proportion? He gave this initiative to his father. It was not decided by him. Ah? You divide into 3 portions, this is not an equal division. 2/3 given to your parents, because you love your parents, 1/3 is then given to sentient beings. This means there is discrimination. There is distinction between close and distant. You want to save your parents first. Only if there is surplus then give to sentient beings. Like this, is your greed, hatred, and ignorance exactly equal to 0%? Your so-called universally aid all sentient beings, as mentioned just now, needs to calculate the score. Is there any point of sameness? The point of sameness with the Buddhahood fruit. You are now seeking the Buddhahood fruit, isn't it? Then how many % is that point of sameness? Is it 100 points? You can calculate it immediately. This means, originally, if you don't achieve an absolute 100 points, some things will be different. Thus, we have raised the second question. We just asked whether praying for blessings and making vows would overdraw the karmic rewards accumulated from the past. Hey! That's right. I pray desperately. Originally, what I pray for, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will check if my virtuous and evil karmic portfolio contains such good karma. If there is, they will grant my wish, letting me use it. Ah? Oh no. Would this cause an overdraft? Ha! Would this use up the karmic rewards I have accumulated? The answer is, of course, it will. Of course it will. You pray for blessings, don't you often go to those so-called spirits, those temples to make prayers? I must tell you, if you pray to spirits, they do not understand the Buddhist holy Dharma, but they have some supernatural powers. They do not have the ability to give you blessings. If you request something, similarly, they will find some good causes within your virtuous and evil karmic portfolio to help you to fulfill your wish. Use it, and it will overdraw. But, if you seek the help of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, if you pray for blessings to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, this is different. They will not cause you to overdraw. What is called overdraft? What is called usage? Let me give an example. For example, you have $5,000 in the bank, you have a family of 3, so, you pray for blessings saying, alas, my assets are only $5,000, I now want to pray for a blessing, hoping to have warmth and fullness, to eat a little better each meal. I am not greedy, if I can have $50 per meal, I will be very happy. Or $50 per day is also fine, easy to calculate. In short, give me $50 per day for food, and I will be satisfied. I only pray for this blessing, Buddha. Buddha. Please help me. The Buddha doesn't need to look further, your virtuous and evil karmic portfolio only has $5,000, you yourself know how to check how much money is in the bank. But you don't know how to check how much good karma is in your own virtuous and evil karmic portfolio. However, the Buddha knows how to look, you have $5,000. Alright, you then say, it's like this. I have a wife, a son, a family of 3. I also want them to eat more abundantly, not just myself being abundant. Wouldn't this require $150 per day? You then keep praying to the Buddha saying, Buddha, you must help me. I have burned incense and worshipped the Buddha, and I have also planted virtuous merits. Right? I also chant mantras. You must also help me. The Buddha will say, good. The merit from your burning incense and worshipping the Buddha, the merit from your chanting mantras, it is worthwhile for me to go to your virtuous and evil karmic portfolio to look, to see how much money is left. Then I will help you withdraw money to help you. Thus, the virtuous merits you planted are used to ask the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to help you withdraw a daily amount of $150 from your virtuous and evil karmic portfolio. Think carefully, in the end, there will always be a day when you use it all up, who knows how many days it can be used. In the end, if you continue to use it, this will cause an overdraft. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will not help you overdraw, because overdraft is disadvantageous to you. But, if you go to those ghosts and spirits, temples, etc., to make prayers, they won't think so much. In short, if you ask for it, they give it to you, and you will overdraw. Do you know? What will overdraft cause? I tell you, you have good and evil karma, 2 combinations, there is good karma and evil karma. After the good karma is used up, what will come out? Evil karma. Otherwise, there would be nothing to come out. Isn't it? You cannot withdraw from your combination until there is not a single cent left. Your bank account cannot be reduced to having not a single cent, otherwise what will happen? Close your account. With not a single cent, the account will be closed. Closing your account. It cannot be, right? Therefore, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will not cause you to overdraw, to close the account. But those ordinary spirits will. So, if people often worship not Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, but ordinary spirits, it will actually cause big problems. Why? I have abundant clothing and food in this life, but your next few lives will be miserable. Who knows if you will become an animal? Who knows what kind of animal? And the kind without food. Like this, it would be terrible for you, wouldn't it? Buddhas will not make you become like this. But those other ordinary ghosts and spirits will. Because they don't understand. You ask, and they give it to you. Wow! You also place so many offerings to worship me, and you are so respectful to me, all right. Fine. Let me help you. His so-called help actually harms you without you knowing. Well, then you will overdraw. Overdraft means only evil karma will come out. Then only dead people and collapsing buildings will be your retribution. You won't receive any karmic rewards at all, because they have all been used up by you. This is called overdraft. So, overdraft is not good. But, if you go to pray for blessings and make vows, will it use up your karmic rewards? The answer is, it will. Isn't it just withdrawing from your bank account? That is, just extracting things from your virtuous and evil karmic portfolio. There is only this method. Karmic force is like this. It cannot be given to you by the Buddha for no reason. It must be something you inherently possess. It can only help you with allocation. Therefore, you must understand this situation. What does it mean? If you do not wish to overdraw, when you have prayed for blessings, when you have made vows, you must immediately plant merits. Once you have made a vow, you must act immediately, do not just talk. The blessings you pray for, thinking that it will use up quite a lot of good karma, you should immediately plant a substantial amount of good karma in return. This way, your virtuous and evil karmic portfolio will never be exhausted, and there will be no problems. This is the key point. The third question, what is the best content for prayers and vows? The best, of course, is merit that is inexhaustible. If the content of your prayers and vows involves things that can help you continuously accumulate more merit, that is considered the best. So, what kind of merit can make it inexhaustible for you? There is only one thing. The three realms will certainly have a day of exhaustion, but there are things that are inexhaustible, which is the Dharma realm. The Dharma realm is eternal happiness, without birth and death, without old age and death. It is called neither birth nor death, and that eternal happiness is only found where one attains Buddhahood. Therefore, if your vows, your prayers for blessings, can learn from this child, by making a vow of, I will attain Buddhahood and save all sentient beings, and planting merits related to this, you will become inexhaustible. That is, you will possess eternal happiness that is inexhaustible. Therefore, you must know how to do these things. All right. Next, what does this sutra say? It says that at that time, the kind of tremor, the tremor caused by that energy, shook even the heavens of form and desire. What are the heavens of form and desire? Desire refers to the heaven of desire, a lower level heaven. Heaven of form refers to a higher level heaven. Form means matter. That is, even the heavens with very sparse material structures were shaken. Thus, all the heavenly beings were astonished, thinking, we have never experienced such tremors before. We have no Earth's crust, only energy moving tectonic plates can cause tremors. Why is there tremor here? Why are our palaces shaking and about to fall? Then, everyone became frightened and immediately used their divine eye to see what was happening. They saw, this person, this child, truly resembles a bodhisattva. He offered his own flesh to nourish his parents. Wow! He vows to attain Buddhahood. He also made a vow, pledging to save all sentient beings. Because of this, it's causing a great earthquake, heaven and earth are shaking. Wow! So powerful. Thereupon, all the heavenly beings immediately descended, arriving on earth, the earth at that time, not sure if it was earth. Anyway, it was a place many Asamkhya Kalpa ago. They descended from the heavens to the place where the child was. At that time, filling the empty space, meaning, almost crowding the entire empty space, look. Your physical eyes cannot see those gods, because the material structure of those gods' bodies is very sparse. The heavenly beings who descended at that time were so numerous that they crowded the entire empty space. They were all deeply moved, some were sobbing, some cried uncontrollably. You know, the tears of heavenly beings are like our rain, the kind of matter they stirred up caused a downpour. At that time, it poured heavily, originally, because they were overly moved. Earlier I said, you need to have two elements. One is to look at the score of your components of greed, hatred, and ignorance, the other is to look at the score linked to your causal points of similarity, to determine if your vow power can control this causal pairing. This means, these all need to be scored. Not to mention those heavenly beings. Those heavenly beings are even more adept at scoring. At that time, there was one called Sakra, the Emperor of Heaven. He also thought about scoring. Wow. You say you yourself made a vow. You use such merit to say you want to vow to attain Buddhahood. That is, although you are very filial, your act of cutting flesh is extremely touching, everyone cried, but is this a perfect score? Are you truly perfect to the extreme, deserving of enabling you to attain Buddhahood in the future? Are you able to match it? The Emperor of Heaven also wanted to score. What did he do? He wanted to test this child. What is Sakra's heaven? That is the heaven of desire, a heaven with a relatively heavier material structure, namely the second heaven of the lower level heavens, called Triastriya heaven, and the lord of Triastriya heaven is called Sakra. What is Triastriya? It means the heaven of 33, because this second heaven is formed by the merger of 33 heavens, so it is also called the heaven of 33. This Emperor of Heaven said, no. I must test you, see how many points you have. Thereupon, he transformed into a beggar and came to beg. So, you can see this mural. What does the Dunhuang mural call it? The name of this mural is Test. Good, he came to test him. When he came begging, the child had only a little flesh left in his hand. This flesh was left by his parents for him to sustain himself before they left. That is, the flesh obtained when his parents cut his face, head, and scalp, they left a little for him. The child gave this little flesh to the Emperor of Heaven. He said, good, I give it to you. I am willing to give it to you. The Emperor of Heaven was unconvinced, doubting if the child was truly so sincere. Thereupon, he transformed into lions, tigers, and wolves. Wow. There were groups of lions, tigers, and wolves. You can look at this mural, there are lions, tigers, and wolves surrounding him. You know, we ordinary people would be scared stiff, and our hearts would tremble at the sight of a single lion, but now there are groups of wolves, tigers, and lions. But don't forget, wasn't it said earlier that his eyes and tongue had already been given away? Why is this child not dead yet? Assuming his willpower is very strong, so he hasn't died, but can he still see things? How could he see wolves, tigers, and lions? Even if you transform into a beggar, he shouldn't be able to see. Actually, he could see. Why? Because this Emperor of Heaven had supernatural powers, he made him perceive these things. Projected into his mind consciousness, allowing him to see these images. Unexpectedly, the son thought to himself, these beasts want to eat me. Actually, there's not much left of my body. Now I only have bones and marrow left, really only this little left. However, if I can use what remains, the bones and marrow, for almsgiving, wouldn't that be better? This could fulfill my wish to make merit. Thus, he instead felt joyful, without any regret. At that time, the Emperor of Heaven saw this. Wow. Your will is so firm, completely unshaken. Thereupon, he transformed back into the appearance of the Emperor of Heaven, stood before him, and said to him, you are so compassionate and filial, you actually used the flesh from your own body to nourish your parents. With such merit, what exactly do you seek? Do you seek to become the Emperor of Heaven, the Demon King, or Brahma? Brahma is the heaven of form, the Lord of the higher level heavens is called Brahma. He asked, do you want to become the Demon King of the demon realm, or the Emperor of Heaven of the heaven of desire, or a human emperor, or the Lord of the higher level heaven Brahma heaven? What do you wish to exchange for? With such great merit, you should be able to exchange. What do you wish to exchange for? Unexpectedly, the child replied, I do not seek the happiness of the three realms, I do not want it. I do not want the happiness within this three realms. I wish to uphold this merit, I want to use this merit, to seek the Buddha path, I want to use it to seek the Dharma. I want to use it to seek methods to attain Buddhahood. Look. Nowadays, Dharma is everywhere on the streets, but can every Dharma help you attain Buddhahood? Of course not. Those only explain some principles to you. Are there any practical cultivation methods that can help you attain Buddhahood in this very body? You truly need to search for them. The child said, I want to use this merit to seek the Buddha path. I want to search for these methods. If I can attain them, and can attain Buddhahood, I vow to save all immeasurable sentient beings. I want to use it to save all sentient beings. All right, without eyes, without a tongue, that is, everyone communicates through intention. Isn't that right? All right, the Emperor of Heaven said to him again, you were able to use your body to make offerings to your parents, you were able to feel no regret or hatred towards your parents for doing this. That is, your parents were quite ruthless to scrape your flesh, cut out your eyes, and actually do such things, you actually don't hate them. I cannot believe it. Are you so sincere? Do you truly have none? This son replied, I truly have none. I am now using my utmost sincerity to make offerings to my parents. I truly have no hatred in my mind. I truly do not even have a hair's breadth of hatred. He meant that he did not have a single trace of hatred. Thereupon, Sakra spoke to him again, I see that you have nothing left. All the flesh inside your body is gone, there is nothing left. The body's flesh is already exhausted, means that all your flesh is finished. You actually dare to say before me that you have no regret or hatred. This matter is difficult to believe. Sakra said, I find it very hard to believe. Your father cut you with every stroke, you shed every drop of blood, and you truly were not angry at all. He could be so cruel as to strike, and you also had not a bit of hatred. I really cannot believe it. I do not believe it. This son replied, if I have no regret or hatred, I vow to attain Buddhahood. Look. I truly do not have a trace of regret or hatred, my wish to attain Buddhahood is very firm, I truly have no regret or hatred. If this power of my vow is sincere, completely sincere, without any trace of greed, hatred, or ignorance, if my greed, hatred, and ignorance are zero, I am truly with zero greed, hatred, and ignorance. If I truly like this, I vow that the energy of this state, this mindset, will cause my body to recover as before. If I have truly achieved this, with zero greed, hatred, and ignorance, truly without regret or hatred, and I have truly made this vow to attain Buddhahood to save all sentient beings, if all this is true, indeed, may my entire body, everything, fully recover to its normal state. That is, return to the way it was before the flesh was cut. As soon as the vow was spoken, just after finishing, just after making the vow, the body immediately recovered. The body instantly returned to its original state, without any injury. Why is it like this? Is this just a story? However, this comes from the mouth of the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni, so of course it is true. I can tell you, if one reaches such a level, such a highly pure state of energy, it truly is everything comes from the mind. For him to recreate the muscles, to recreate the normal body, is without any difficulty. That is, if you are talking about the current earth, of course it would seem impossible. But if you are talking about the heavenly realms, then with a whoosh it can be restored. That is to say, if you have sufficient energy, even if you are on earth, you can accomplish this matter, it's just that no one can reach this level. But he reached this level. The intensity was sufficient to shake even the heavenly realms, the higher heavenly realms were also shaken. Now his energy could even restore his physical body. This is because of the power of everything comes from the mind and the power of the vow. The purity of his vow's power had already reached over 90 points to be able to accomplish this. 90 points. Not 100 points. You must know, the energy triggered by the purity of his vow was sufficient to cause his body to recover as before. But was it sufficient to enable him to immediately attain Buddhahood? Not yet. It turns out, if that purity lacked 10 or so points, or even a few points, one would still have to go through immeasurable, countless, asakya kalpa, before being able to attain Buddhahood. You can thus imagine, If you do not have a genuine method to attain Buddhahood in this very body, which you accept and practice, you would truly have to learn to be like the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni, achieve such earth-shattering deeds, and still take that long to attain Buddhahood. Very well. At that time, Sakra and all the heavenly beings, wow. They all unanimously praised endlessly. They exclaimed it was truly amazing. Look. This relates to the fourth question we asked. If we plant some virtuous causes, can we use them to exchange with the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas for things we hope for? What you hope for is to seek the Buddha path. Of course, you would then ask the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please be compassionate. Save me. Teach me a method on how I can attain Buddhahood. You know. Merely telling you that attaining Buddhahood involves cultivating intrinsic awareness, I tell you, for over 2,000 years, many people have constantly sought it, but have been unable to know this answer. Now you know, originally you need to cultivate intrinsic awareness. If you cultivate intrinsic awareness, you can attain Buddhahood. But are you willing to learn this method? The actual practice method. That is to say, what good is it just knowing? Some people still won't do it. Isn't that right? So, what is it actually? The answer is, it depends on the proportion of cause and effect, as already taught earlier. Isn't it about how many points the cause has? How many points the effect has? Do they match? How many points do they match? Is there any greed, hatred, or ignorance? And does the greed, hatred, and ignorance match? It's just like that. You have to calculate. All right. His parents and the people of the country. At that time, his parents had already reached the country where they wanted to seek reinforcements. They conveyed this message to the king of that country and all its citizens, saying, Our son is truly remarkable. Truly extremely filial. The reason we were able to come here is because he cut off his flesh to nourish us. When we left him, his eyes, tongue, everything was gone, all cut off. That's how we managed to get here. What little remained, he still used to give alms to other sentient beings. We divided it into 3 portions, we took 2/3, and 1/3 was given to the sentient beings. Our son is truly too rare and precious. Wow! When those people heard this, they all immediately swarmed to the place where the son was. Wow! So incredible, we must go see. We must go and praise. The situation was like those heavenly beings who also wanted to go see. At that time, the king saw, wow! This prince is so extraordinary. How could he be restored to normal, without any cuts, completely healed? This son then explained the situation, because just now a Sakra had come, he tested me, and I made a vow, and then I was fine. After hearing this, they all said, wow! Truly most admirable. Thereupon, they invited the prince and his parents to the palace to make offerings to them, treating them with extreme reverence, feeling that the prince had endured such great pain, the pain of being slowly cut piece by piece, and they felt immense sorrow. Furthermore, the king said, good. Since you are so filial, I will personally lead troops, take your parents and take you, that is, escort King Shanju and Prince Sishoti, take them back to their country, and help them restore their kingdom. Thereupon, he led them back to their own country, killed King Rahu, and reinstated the king. Father and son succeeded each other, means that after the father king died, the son succeeded to the throne. At that time, the entire country was prosperous and peaceful, abundant and happy. And they obtained peace. Among the Dunhuang murals, there are 2 murals, one called Arrival at the Neighboring Country, and the other called Dispatching Troops to Suppress the Rebellion. This story is thus complete. Alright, let's look at the 5th question. Under what state must the virtuous causes we plant be established, to be sufficient to evolve into extremely great virtuous effects? This depends on how many sentient beings you save, including the quantity within your vow. Look. Accumulated over your countless past lifetimes up to this present life, how many sentient beings have you saved? Alright, suppose you now make a vow to attain Buddhahood and save all sentient beings, all of them. Boundless. This, of course, is sufficiently great. But, if you vow to attain Buddhahood, intending to save the parents of many lifetimes, and also save the families of many lifetimes. Then, the quantity is limited. Therefore, we must know that it depends on how great the quantity of the vow is. So, the Buddha said to Ananda, "Do you know who the King Shanju of that time was? He is my present father king, King Suddhodana." This means that, originally, in the past, countless Asakya Kalpa ago, he had once been his father king, and in this life, he is again his father king. He said, "My mother at that time is my mother in this life, Queen Mahamaya." Originally, because they were parent and child at that time, the connection of their mind consciousness was too deep. So even after many lifetimes, they still became parent and child again. Because he cut off his flesh to make offerings to his parents at that time, that kind of love and grateful heart was deeply involved. So even after so many lifetimes, after immeasurable Asakya Kalpa, they still have a parent-child relationship. That is, the same applies to relationships like spouses and children, etc. The Buddha said to the Venerable Ananda, "The Prince Ashoti of that time is my present self. Because in a past life, I had a compassionate heart, and was filial, making offerings to my parents, using the flesh of my body to make offerings to my parents, enabling them to pass through this crisis precisely, because of this merit. The result was that among humans and gods, I was often born noble and honored, receiving endless blessings. As a result, for many lifetimes I enjoyed blessings in the heavens, enjoyed all glory and wealth, exhausted all karmic rewards. It was because of this merit that, ultimately, in this life, I could attain Buddhahood, all relying on these merits." You should pay attention to often born. These two words, often born, indicate one thing, that it takes many, many lifetimes to be able to attain Buddhahood. Yes, he is so great, yet still needed to experience that many lifetimes to attain Buddhahood. This tells us that you must have a method. If you do not have a method to attain Buddhahood in this present lifetime, to practice, and only rely on acting within the cause, I cut my flesh, cut my tongue, cut my eyes, persisting in this direction of planting virtuous causes, accumulating. If you finally accumulate enough merit to attain Buddhahood, it is truly very far off. You need to cultivate intrinsic awareness. You might say, "That's not it. He had great intrinsic awareness. Didn't you just say that?" Look. He knew how to observe the precepts, and he knew how to correct his nature of mind. The score is not enough. The score is not 100 points. Look. Why isn't it enough? There is a phrase in the sutra, "The parents did not wish to oppose," meaning the parents did not want to go against his wish. So they divided the remaining flesh of the tongue and eyes into 3 portions. 2 portions were for the parents themselves to eat, and the remaining 1 portion was given as alms to sentient beings, right? In this case, would his mind still be thinking of one thing? I must take care of my parents first, and only afterwards take care of other sentient beings. Moreover, my authority was handed over to my parents for distribution. My parents said to give 2/3 to themselves and 1/3 to sentient beings. I did not decide for myself. In terms of time, isn't there a sequence? Therefore, his prayer also has a sequence in time. Thus, he first enjoyed blessings, resulting in becoming Sakra, enjoying all glory and wealth, and only afterwards was he able to attain Buddhahood. Why? Because he only considered sentient beings afterwards. He must take care of sentient beings to match the Buddha fruit, only then can he attain Buddhahood. And he then put parents first and sentient beings later, so his karmic reward is to first enjoy blessings, and later attain Buddhahood. It's that simple. This is the law of causes and effects. This is how it matches. He must first receive the retribution of filially providing for his parents. He must often go to the heavens, become a great king, enjoy blessings. Only afterwards can he attain Buddhahood and universally save all sentient beings. There's no way to attain Buddhahood in that present lifetime, or in that very body. Because what he planted still has discrimination. Therefore, the 6th question is, what is the best method for praying for blessings and making vows? First, regarding the number of sentient beings saved, remember, it must be boundless. When you make a vow, do not make a limited one. You might say, "Master, It seems you've said that we should make vows according to our own ability. You make vows according to your ability, according to the capacity of your mind. If the capacity of your mind is not great enough, then don't expect to attain Buddhahood, or escape the cycle of karmic existence. That is, do you need to see what you want now? You want to escape the cycle of karmic existence and also attain Buddhahood, but only want to put in a little effort. Others provide the chicken, and you only provide the soy sauce. This is not acceptable. That is to say, regarding the number of sentient beings you vow to save, when making the vow, what should this number be? Boundless. Alright, meaning, if you take care of parents first and only afterwards take care of other sentient beings, there is a priority. If you have a priority in terms of timing, and if you also have distinction in category, you will have trouble. You even let your parents handle the distribution, not keeping the initiative in your own hands. Look. Distribution by parents and distribution by yourself are two different things. If you don't distribute, but give the initiative to others, then the merit of this virtuous reward does not belong to you. Your parents will take a share. Thus, you won't have 100 points. Understand? You must decide for yourself, emanating from your own mind consciousness, I want 100 points, then I can attain Buddhahood myself. Do you understand? You must first attain Buddhahood yourself, only after attaining Buddhahood can you save other sentient beings. In your mind consciousness, you actually handed over the authority to others. You will reduce a lot of merit. That means not enough points. Therefore, regarding the category of those saved, what should it be? Without discrimination. Regarding the activation of the power of the vow, you now make a vow. To activate it, it must be immediate, right now, at this very moment. If you can achieve immediacy and the present moment, then you can attain Buddhahood in this present lifetime, or in this very body. There must be matching in time. That is to say, within the law of causes and effects, everything must match, time must match, quantity must match, category must match. Since it is like this, if you want to attain Buddhahood and escape the cycle of karmic existence, then, no matter what, it must be boundless, without discrimination. Only then can you attain Buddhahood. Look. This is the key to your desire to escape the cycle of karmic existence and attain Buddhahood. This session has taught you many keys. Alright, you must possess all elements to have sufficient Dharma conditions to receive the teachings that enable attaining Buddhahood in this present lifetime, or in this very body. Suppose you have received them. Actually, I am teaching continuously now. Suppose you have received them, then it depends on whether you practice them. And how many points do you achieve in practice? This determines whether you can attain Buddhahood in this present lifetime or in this very body. If you receive the Dharma, but do not practice it, it is also useless. So, let's see what the sutra says. It says, at that time, everyone listened to the Buddha speak. After hearing the Buddha speak about his causes and conditions from past lives, wow! Everyone was greatly sorrowful and sighing. They felt sorrow for this prince, a past life of the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni, who endured such great suffering, and also praised the greatness of his power of the vow, and his extraordinary, compassionate act of filial piety. Some people, because of this, exerted themselves to the utmost in cultivation, and attained the fruition of Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arhat. These four fruits are the levels of practice attainment in Hinayana. That is, some people thus attained different levels of holy fruit. Others, because of this, made vows to seek the true Buddha path. There were also those who immediately reached the stage of non-retrogression. The stage of non-retrogression is very powerful. One must reach the 8th level Bodhisattva to achieve non-retrogression, the non-retrogressing stage. The entire assembly was greatly joyful. They made prostrations and undertook practice. To respectfully receive and practice means everyone determined that they must definitely practice the teachings of the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni. They are truly too great. Good, let us now look. I have said before that the introductory teachings of our Dudjom Buddhist Association, the 5th type of introductory teaching, will teach you to accumulate the merit of virtuous karma related to the nature of mind, divided into 4 levels. These are the four. Look. The correction of the nature of mind. How have I taught this to you? I think having spoken the Dharma for so long, and uploaded everything to YouTube, if there are sentient beings, or devout believers who have listened to our series of teachings, they should know that I have truly practiced my power of the vow. I vowed to correct the nature of mind of sentient beings, and I have truly exerted my greatest effort to do it. If there is any Buddhist Dharma that wrongly teaches sentient beings, I am not afraid of being attacked. I will still speak the truth. So, I have truly passed through this, whether externally or internally. What is external? External means what is publicly spoken and uploaded to YouTube, while internal refers to the practice methods taught behind closed doors. In fact, I have already striven to be fearless and unafraid, doing as much as I can to the best of my ability. That is, some people don't want to offend fellow practitioners, right? Some say that just reciting the Buddha's holy names is enough. If you don't want to offend them, even though you know their method is not acceptable, you dare not speak up. But I have already done my best. I speak as much as I can. This includes the understanding of genuine Buddhist holy Dharma. What is truly called genuine Buddhist holy Dharma? I answer you now. Genuine Buddhist holy Dharma has only one thing, which is the correction of the nature of mind. If what others teach you cannot correct your nature of mind, then that cannot be called genuine Buddhist holy Dharma. That is to say, if you merely recite the Buddha's holy names, without combining it with correcting his nature of mind. What is nature of mind? Intrinsic awareness. What is your intrinsic awareness? It must be non-discriminating. That is the intrinsic awareness, truly required for the one state, that is the intrinsic awareness, capable of attaining Buddhahood. If you are not talking about this, it actually cannot correct the nature of mind. Just doing a few good deeds, Don't think you can cultivate to attain Buddhahood in just 3 asakya kalpa. I have said before that you will encounter many tribulations along the way. With so much evil karma existing, it will certainly cause your cultivation to stagnate, and you won't even know what evil karma you have committed. In that case, you can never attain Buddhahood. The Lord Buddha Shakyamuni achieved such earth-shattering deeds, cutting his flesh to feed his parents, and still had to go through countless asakya kalpa to attain Buddhahood. Needless to say, it will be even more difficult for you. How could you achieve what he did, so monumental? If you cannot achieve such monumentality, that is, the trouble for you is, you must know that what we are teaching you now is already the most precious thing. You really must cherish it, and put it into practice. Otherwise, how can you attain Buddhahood? How can you be free from the cycle of karmic existence? Merely reciting the Buddha's holy names, even if you only wish to go to the Buddha's pure lands, you may not necessarily achieve it. You must achieve without any disturbance of thoughts an inversion of the mind. What is called inversion of the mind? It means the nature of mind is absolutely correct. This is called without inversion of the mind. Do you not understand? It's just talking to you about the nature of mind. Why do you not understand? Because those who teach you the Buddhist holy Dharma only teach you reciting the Buddha's holy names. We call this a policy of keeping people ignorant, deceiving you. That is, in order to make my sect grow, they then tell you that just reciting the Buddha's holy names is sufficient. Everyone knows how to recite, even parrots know how to recite. Like this, it is enough, and you can go to the Buddha's pure lands. Reciting 10 times is enough. Is it really possible? Isn't this still talking about the correspondence of the karmic force of causes and effects? It requires calculation. Alas! Is your power of aspirations to go to the Buddha's pure lands? First, calculate. The virtuous merits you are planting now, and the retributions you are asking for, do they match each other? What is the matching score? Does your greed, hatred and ignorance match? Within your matching, what percentage consists of greed, hatred and ignorance? You need to look at these. This is the explanation of the genuine Buddhist holy Dharma. Do you know what those who explain Dharma nowadays are like? We go deep into one method, no need to listen to any other Dharma, no need to learn any other Dharma. Where is the need to study deeply? Alas! You just recite like this, recite desperately, continuously, reciting the Buddha's holy names, guaranteeing that you can go to the Buddha's pure lands. The guarantee he speaks of, he cannot even guarantee himself. How can he guarantee you? Isn't that right? That is, it's just empty talk. You say, no. This sutra says so. Hey! What this sutra says is that one must achieve without inversion of the mind. But you don't explain clearly what without inversion of the mind means. Without inversion of the mind means the correction of the nature of mind. Understand? You need to correct it, and you must see to what score it is corrected, then can it be decided whether you succeed or not. Okay, furthermore, there is the execution of precepts. Hey! Our society here is quite strict. Every month we require all disciples to recite the precepts aloud, fully following the specified requirements of the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni, and to perform public confession. Due to the current pandemic, unfortunately, it truly cannot be done. Public confession cannot be done. Moreover, the master must also observe the precepts. Look at that prince just now, how strictly he observed the precepts. You must observe them too. Having taken the precepts, but not observing them is useless. You, as a master, must also observe them. How to observe? I follow exactly the same as the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni. Some disciples do not obey no matter how they are taught, then they must be Brahmada. Silent means silence. Ostracize means driving them out of the Sangha, not speaking with them, cutting off contact with them, to see if they can generate a thought of repentance. Is it said to cut off contact completely? Not exactly. I have many Dharma videos uploaded on YouTube. If they still have the heart to learn, they can watch these YouTube videos. This way they can maintain a connection with the Master, at least having spiritual communication, isn't that right? However, if they have no Master in their hearts, and do not agree with what the Master says, even if we continue teaching, they will not learn. If they are allowed to stay in the Sangha, they will only corrupt others, causing others to be unable to learn. Right? Therefore, I will implement the method of the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni, which is to use Brahmada, to isolate them. Epidemics and viruses must be isolated. Those who have viruses in their thinking, you really must isolate them, otherwise it will harm oneself and harm others. He cannot cultivate, and causes others to be unable to cultivate, this is pointless. Isn't it? Therefore, since the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni used Brahmada, I don't need to use my own clever wisdom, I only need to follow accordingly. Isn't that right? That is to say, simply following the practices of the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni is itself the execution of precepts. Therefore, regarding the execution of precepts, I do my best, truly my best. But of course, some of my disciples will resist me, refute me. They say, alas! Our Buddhist holy Dharma speaks of compassion. You learn to speak of compassionate heart and bodhicitta. The disciple slightly violates a precept, it's not too serious, yet you drive them out. Whether to drive them out or not, it does not depend on me. It depends on the minds of those disciples. If his heart still has the Master, even if driven, he will not leave. If his heart has no Master, even if not driven, he will run away. It's that simple. Therefore, it is fundamentally not that the Master is not compassionate. You should say, those who violate the precepts, those who refuse to correct their own nature of mind, those who refuse to observe the precepts, have no bodhicitta towards themselves, are too cruel to themselves. It is not the Master who is cruel, it is those disciples who are cruel. I truly feel my disciples are very cruel. If you Brahmada them, they won't even watch the Dharma talks I've given, uploaded on YouTube, which they can watch freely. How can their nature of mind be corrected? They have no correct knowledge of the Buddhist holy Dharma, yet they will immediately swarm towards those who guarantee success, by merely reciting the Buddha's holy names. Why? No need to do it. No need to do so many things. Alas! This way they can go to the Buddha's pure lands. They think this can lead to success. This is ignorance. That is, that ignorance without greed, hatred and ignorance, it is truly fulfilled to the utmost, sufficiently ignorant. Regarding the establishment of power of aspirations and belief, we require disciples to make vows, teaching them using the contents of various prayers. We want them to make vows, to establish their belief and power of aspirations. What does that mean? Explain how to make a vow. Just now, many elements required for making vows have been explained. What is best for you? As for the content, we have many prayers. Within the prayers, there are these powers of aspirations. You can learn from them. Within the Dharma explanations, I have taught them. Therefore, I will require disciples to do this. What corresponding virtuous merits should they perform? Assist the Master in propagating the Dharma. Why is assisting the Master in propagating the Dharma considered corresponding virtuous merits? Hey! I now wish to go to the Buddha's pure lands. I also wish to attain Buddhahood. I also wish to be free from the cycle of karmic existence. What is called corresponding virtuous merits? Because this entire three realms operates according to the law of causes and effects, everything requires matching. If what I do is unable to match, then I cannot achieve my wish. Yes. Therefore, I teach disciples. If the teachings your master transmits are for assisting sentient beings to attain Buddhahood, for example, if he teaches the great perfection, hey! My compassionate heart, was explained in the very first few sessions. If he teaches emptiness, neither existence nor voidness, hey! Our teachings speak of emptiness. Teachings like correction of the nature of mind, needless to say, regarding the topic of correction of the nature of mind, I don't know how long I've been speaking about it. Isn't that right? If your master speaks about these three key points, then, if you assist this master in propagating the Dharma, it is equivalent to assisting yourself to attain Buddhahood. This belongs to the corresponding cause and effect. Thus, whether you wish to go to the Buddha's pure lands, or be free from the cycle of karmic existence, or attain Buddhahood, you can achieve it all. Because you have planted corresponding virtuous merits. Because your master is doing these things. Helping him is equivalent to you performing these merits, so you can obtain this fruit. Therefore, the correspondence of cause and effect within the law of causes and effects is a principle, it must be remembered. You must remember and follow it. Therefore, what is the rule of the Dudjom Buddhist Association? Must assist the master in propagating the Dharma. If those disciples or all sentient beings only wish to obtain, but do not wish to give, their behavior actually does not conform to the law of corresponding cause and effect. They are doomed to fail. Therefore, I have some disciples, whenever I ask them to plant virtuous merits and they do not plant them, I tell them to go home and face the wall to reflect on their faults. Think carefully, can you achieve success by cultivating like this? That is the meaning. Let us look again. Look at this table, wow. If we wish to cultivate the Mahayana, using the methods of the exoteric Buddhists, the fastest still requires 3 great Asamkhya Kalpa. The Lord Buddha Shakyamuni also used the methods of the exoteric Buddhists, but the result was not 3 great Asamkhya Kalpa. He himself said in the sutra, immeasurable, countless Asamkhya Kalpa, before he could attain Buddhahood. However, in the case described in that sutra, the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni had actually fulfilled certain requirements, at the very least, the 10 beliefs, 10 abidings, 10 practices, and 10 dedications were fully accomplished. In the aforementioned case, the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni had already completed this cultivation process, achieving a full 100 points. As for these 4 preliminary practices, he was able to cause all remaining parts of his body to be restored to their original state in an instant. Furthermore, his power of aspirations could shake the highest heavenly realms, causing 6 great tremors, making the palaces shake. Hey! If we put it that way, he had already completed all the cultivation procedures of the 4 preliminary practices, and achieved 100 points. The answer is, yes. Actually, the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni had already accomplished it. How much time do these 2 stages actually require? The fastest requires 1 Asamkhya Kalpa to complete. That is to say, before the lifetime in which the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni performed the act of cutting off his flesh, he had actually cultivated for at least one Asamkhya Kalpa, to reach that stage of being a son who cuts off his flesh to offer to his parents. Look at how remarkable he is. His nature of mind was correct, and he observed the precepts excellently. Wow! He accomplished all these things, achieving them fully. There is no need to ask further. In his many past lifetimes, he must have performed many good karmas to bring about such an excellent condition. That is to say, at the very least, he had spent one Asamkhya Kalpa before this, so he had already completed these 2 stages. Then, if he had already completed these 2 stages, could he skip the middle stage, and attain Buddhahood in this present lifetime? Could he immediately cultivate, by connecting with intrinsic awareness? Actually, originally, it was possible. That is to say, actually, we can do so too. If you have completed these 2 stages, which originally require one Asamkhya Kalpa to complete, and you have completed them, similar to the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni, for example, then you can actually skip the middle part. The middle part is from the 1st level Bodhisattva to the 10th level Bodhisattva, which requires 2 Asamkhya Kalpa. Actually, we can leap over the chasm of the middle 2 Asamkhya Kalpa. By directly cultivating intrinsic awareness, cultivating while connected to intrinsic awareness, we can attain Buddhahood in this present lifetime, or in this very body. There. If you know how to use the method of visualization for cultivation, then, of course, you can shorten these 2 Asamkhya Kalpa. Furthermore, the level of the visualization teaching you receive depends on which degree you employ. Your visualization must be matched with emptiness. If your visualization is not matched with emptiness, then the level is low. You also need to integrate many other things, and integrate precepts, meditational power and wisdom. Like this, the fastest one can attain Buddhahood is within 3 lifetimes. How can one attain Buddhahood in this present lifetime? Good, let us discuss it now. If you wish to attain Buddhahood in this present lifetime, in this very body, you must cultivate both intrinsic awareness and visualization together to succeed. You cannot only cultivate visualization. That is to say, we must understand how to transform consciousness into wisdom, train for the arising of the 5 wisdoms. The main direction of cultivation is to elevate intrinsic awareness, only then is it possible. That is to say, if you cultivate this stage, you can subdue afflictions, you can subdue the coarse afflictions. If you have cultivated these 10 beliefs, 10 abidings, 10 practices, and 10 dedications, and when you cultivate them, if you wish to attain Buddhahood in this present lifetime, what must you do while cultivating these? You must apply that set of methods for mind training and Dharma practice. It has 5 steps. First, complete the mind training procedure. It must be matched with the oral pith instruction from the Diamond Sutra, do not abide in notions, and also matched with the second oral pith instruction from the Diamond Sutra, not to abide anywhere in order to arouse one's awareness. You must arouse the 5 wisdoms, and must integrate with emptiness, neither existence nor voidness. Like this, you then have a chance to attain Buddhahood in this present lifetime or in this very body. Moreover, when you cultivate, you must cultivate while connected to intrinsic awareness. That is to say, if you accomplish all of this, it means you possess the mind of deep-seated confidence, the mind of tranquil abiding, the mind of practice, and the mind of sharing. For details, you can refer to our Dudjom Buddhist Association YouTube, The Classification of Dharma in Cultivation, The Essence of Emptiness. Alright, the path of preparation is for subduing subtle afflictions. We also call it the 4 preliminary practices. When you cultivate the 4 preliminary practices, you must also integrate visualization and also cultivate these 4 preliminary practices integrated with intrinsic awareness. Of course, you must also integrate our complete set of methods for mind training and Dharma practice. However, because most tantric practitioners nowadays do not emphasize cultivating the mind and intrinsic awareness, what do they only emphasize? Visualization. Like this, they will certainly fail, because they lack the most essential element. Therefore, you must connect with intrinsic awareness, and link to the entire 5 steps of the mind training and Dharma practice that I now teach. Only then can you achieve attaining Buddhahood in this present lifetime, in this very body. Otherwise, it is actually unsuccessful. Whichever master tells you otherwise, I can reply to him that it is unsuccessful. If you are not qualified, it is unsuccessful. Alright, let us now look. If some people say, this part is so elementary, why talk about 10 beliefs, 10 abidings, 10 practices, and 10 dedications? I can skip it, it's fine to discard it. Your mind training and Dharma practice. Skip and discard it. Nowadays, many masters do not teach these, they teach disciples to skip these. The 4 preliminary practices are quickly skipped over, just reciting some mantras is considered enough. Many masters are like this. Thus, this also skips the 4 preliminary practices. What do they do then? What do those masters focus on teaching? The middle part. That is, teaching how to visualize the deity, how powerful the deity is, having 3 heads and 6 arms. They will also teach emptiness, it's not that they don't, it is integrated with these. However, without the preceding parts, that is, without the foundation. As for intrinsic awareness, they even more so do not know how to teach it. Those masters have not taught how to cultivate intrinsic awareness. What is intrinsic awareness? They speak of it very vaguely and abstractly. They will not speak as concretely as I do. What is intrinsic awareness? Non-discrimination. It should be like this. They will not explain it so clearly. What is intrinsic awareness? There are many kinds of intrinsic awareness, which kind is what? If you wish to attain Buddhahood, you need a type of non-discriminating, intrinsic awareness. They will not explain this clearly. Consequently, due to insufficient intrinsic awareness, they are unable to empty the 5 aggregates. So, what happens to them? Complete failure. They cannot achieve it. Then how can one achieve it? You must listen to me, you must cultivate the 10 beliefs, 10 abidings, 10 practices, and 10 dedications, and you must also cultivate integrated with the entire 5 steps of mind training and Dharma practice. You must also cultivate the 4 preliminary practices. The 4 preliminary practices must be cultivated with intrinsic awareness and visualization and integrated with the 5 steps of mind training and Dharma practice. Then, you can truly skip this middle part. Even if you do not cultivate the deity practice, it is acceptable. If you add the deity practice, it is also without hindrance. If you don't cultivate it, it's also fine. You directly skip it and cultivate it by connecting with intrinsic awareness. Like this, you can still attain Buddhahood in this present lifetime or in this very body. Why? Because cultivating this connection with intrinsic awareness is sufficient. Many experienced tantric masters will have such explanations. Alright, we have finished for today. Let us make a summary. That is to say, we must cultivate intrinsic awareness. When we cultivate, no matter what method you use, there should be no deviations, and also no unbalanced cultivation methods. What is true intrinsic awareness? It is that we must be aware whether all actions of body, speech, and mind conform to the Buddhist definitions of cultivation, precepts, right knowledge and right view, balance, the middle way. Second, you must be aware of the transformation process of your mind consciousness. You must, through the 5 steps of your mind training procedure, transform consciousness into the 5 wisdoms. You must be aware of the enhancement of the 5 wisdoms, and then guide them into the non-dual state of emptiness, neither existence nor voidness. For this, you must integrate with a non-discriminating mind consciousness. How can this integration be achieved? It is by applying the entire 5 steps of mind training and Dharma practice that we teach in your daily life. These are the cultivation methods of the afflictions are indeed Bodhi. Alright, the Sutra of the Garland of a Bodhisattva's Primary Karmas says this: to cultivate the 10 beliefs, you need at least 1 to 3 kalpa of cultivation to reach the initial abiding stage, called the Bodhisattva of the abode of resolute vows. How long is 1 kalpa? 1 kalpa equals 4,320,000,000 years. It is unknowable how many lifetimes that is. The Sutra for Humane Kings says, practicing the right path for 10,000 kalpa, advancing and retreating uncertainly, like a feather drifting unsettled, fluctuating. You need to cultivate for 10,000 kalpa to achieve it. The treatise on the awakening of faith also says, actually, you need to cultivate for 10,000 kalpa to accomplish these 10 beliefs before you can achieve success. If you now wish to attain Buddhahood in this present lifetime or in this very body, then when cultivating the 10 beliefs, you must definitely apply the fastest methods. What methods? That is, to employ the mind training procedure, arouse the 5 wisdoms, and integrate the oral pith instructions from the Diamond Sutra, do not abide in notions, and not to abide anywhere in order to arouse one's awareness. Depending on the score of how thoroughly you apply them, that determines the degree of your speed. So, what is the goal of our mind training procedure? It is to integrate the 10 beliefs into intrinsic awareness, training for the arising of the 5 wisdoms. The 10 beliefs are 10 types of intrinsic awareness. Like this, you gain much more intrinsic awareness. But which kind do we ultimately need? Only non-discriminating intrinsic awareness can lead to attaining Buddhahood. We must elevate intrinsic awareness to the level of not abiding in notions, and use this to cultivate the 10 beliefs. We use not to abide anywhere in order to arouse one's awareness, integrated with the 10 beliefs, to thoroughly remedy all difficulties and shortcomings in nature of mind and daily life. We use not to abide anywhere in order to arouse one's awareness to perfect enlightenment. Do not abide in notions does not equal acceptance while doing nothing. Rather, it is acting integrated with the 10 beliefs, without attachment. Not to abide anywhere in order to arouse one's awareness equals proactive acceptance, equals proactive facing. We use dynamic intrinsic awareness integrated with the 10 beliefs to give rise to wisdom and the awareness that illuminates all actions. There. Acceptance can give rise to the wisdom of equality. Accomplishing questioning, analysis, and root searching can give rise to the wisdom of discernment. If we successfully remedy the afflictions, we can give rise to the wisdom of all accomplishing. If we can successfully give rise to these 3 wisdoms, and successfully solve problems and correct shortcomings and nature of mind, and moreover do so without abiding in notions, we can then give rise to the mirror-like wisdom. When we are able to give rise to the mirror-like wisdom, and then guide it into the emptiness, neither existence nor voidness, of the state of oneness, and do so without abiding in notions, we can then give rise to the wisdom of Dharmadhatu. If we connect with compassion and bodhicitta, we can certainly cultivate the perfect enlightenment of 100% bodhicitta. We can then attain Buddhahood. You can refer to episodes 20 to 34 of our Compassionate series, which all discuss these topics.